Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas and welcome to the 4th annual James Bond Bumper Bonanza Boxing Day Bond Quiz. My name's Tom Sears and I'm very excited, and I'm also joined by my brother in Bond, Mr. Chris Wright, who's also very excited. How are you feeling today, Chris?
I am so excited, Tom. It's Christmas. Well, it's actually Boxing Day today.
It is, yeah.
But it's Christmas yesterday, and what a time. It is a special time of year, is it not?
It is. I must admit, I don't feel Christmassy at all this year because I'm over here in the Southern Hemisphere in Bali and it's blazing hot sunshine and it doesn't feel Christmassy at all. And I feel I'm a little bit disappointed, and I'm going to make sure next year I'm going to be somewhere freezing cold so I can get the vibes, because it's just not Christmassy over here, man. But is it Christmassy in Cardiff right now? You look like you're all wrapped up warm and toasty.
Yeah, I'm not at Cardiff. I'm a bit further north of Cardiff at the moment with family, but yeah, it's absolutely lovely. We had obviously the snow last time. I was hoping for an epic White Christmas, but we still got chill in the air, so that's really good. Yeah, but it's strange, isn't it? Like Christmas in the heat. My sister lives in Sydney, and it's the same sort of thing. Did you have a sort of a roast turkey meal and stuff yesterday, or not?
Yes, well, there are some places around here that have Christmas dinner, so we booked in. We had a nice little Christmas feast, which is delicious.
Nice.
And so yeah, I got a little bit of it, but it still didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Sitting there in your shorts and t-shirt, it's just not right. You got to have Christmas in the cold. But yeah, good
next
stuff.
year,
Absolutely.
Cool.
So I hope everybody enjoyed yesterday's bonus Christmas morning stocking filler episode, where you got the chance to interview Terry Mountain and Sylvana Henriques from, obviously, on a Majesty Secret Service. How was that, man?
That was awesome. It was so cool. So we stayed in this theatre. It was called the Regal. It's a new theatre, Art Deco style, real classy. It's a 30-seater, but it's a sort of those luxury leather seats with the sort of holders for your cups and everything like that, but like in a really stylish way. And it was fantastic. We obviously did a bit of a Q&A beforehand, and they were both really game for it. And hopefully everyone enjoyed it. And it was really nice to have them there when we watched the film and stuff like that. And it was quite funny because I can't remember who was sitting next to Terry Mountain. But he was saying afterwards that every time he was on the screen, he was like elbowing the guy next to him, going, "Oh, that's me, look, that's me, I'm on screen," which I thought was quite funny. Yeah, and we had a nice chat with them, and they sort of mentioned they went there a few years ago for the Hall of Fame reopening, and obviously 2 years' time it's the 50th anniversary, so they're both going out. I think maybe a couple of times, I'm not sure, but we'll obviously try and be there for one of those times if we can.
Big time, man. I think I'm predicting that 2019 is going to be a monster Bond year, because obviously we'll have Bond 25, but then it's also going to be the 50th anniversary of Majesty's. So we've got to make a pilgrimage to Peace Gloria. It's got to happen. It's going to be a good year, I reckon.
Oh man, without a doubt, we'll have to definitely go Peace Gloria. I'm not sure what time of year, because you can either go in the winter where you've got all the snow. It looks like it does in the film. Get a bit of snowboarding in, or skiing for whoever wants to, and obviously it will look great. Or you could go in the summer. Obviously, it's not got the snow, but it'll probably be a bit more accessible. And I think you could do the Walk of Fame. I suppose you could still do it when there's snow there, but it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to have to, put our thinking hats on about what time of year we do it.
I am firmly of the belief that there is only one time of year you could possibly ever go to Peace Gloria. I feel like if I went up there and it was all green, I feel like my experience would be a little bit, not even a little bit, it would be completely ruined. It would be completely ruined, Chris, if I'm honest.
Definitely.
So I feel like it's got to be a winter strip. But I suppose it all depends on if there are any sort of official events being organised that we can possibly snag tickets to. It all depends on when those happen, doesn't it? So I suppose... Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Terry and Sylvana's mentioned there's one possibly in March, one possibly in October. October would be a bit too early for the snow. March would be perfect. Yeah. So I think we should look at February, March, around that sort of time if we can.
Nice.
But
Now, will you be going in costume? Will you be rocking the blue ski suit with the white goggles? Will you be going in like that beige outfit with the orange sort of turtleneck? Will you be going in the old kilt and stuff? What would you fancy?
I was thinking the sort of pink suit. I'll just go in that.
Very nice. Yeah.
No, I think you've got to do something Lazenby-esque, haven't you? Sort of some sort of style. Maybe the the old kilt. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Who knows?
Good stuff. It's true. So speaking of Majesties, we obviously did the last episode was the music of Bond, episode 10, Majesty's Secret Service soundtrack, which you were meant to. It was going to be a 3-way. John got up extra early, then in sort of Majesty's fashion, you got a bit snowed in. It was like the barn scene when were you in a barn somewhere with a beautiful lady or not? What was going on?
I totally was. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Tom. And no, it was. I was seeing family and yeah, we had an epic snow dump, and it was super. It was actually, well, obviously I couldn't get out, but it was really nice. So I had my niece and nephew, and so we did a bit of snowboarding, and nice. I sort of gave my nephew a sort of a taster, and I think he's hooked now. So we'll get him on the snow pretty soon. Yeah, it's awesome.
Is that the same nephew
I missed it.
You showed The Man with the Golden Gun to, and it was his first ever Bond film?
Oh. Yeah, I've got to tell you about that, man. It was so good because it's the first time I've ever been with someone who's young, who's never seen a Bond film. Okay, so in fact, we went snowboarding that morning. It's a proper Bond type day. We come back in, have a bit of lunch, noticed Golden Guns on the TV, and we turned it on just as the gun barrel opened up, and it was like, this is going to be so good. And my sister's a bit of a Bond fan, and obviously my dad's a huge Bond fan. And so we would like to say to my nephew, okay, so now this is an important moment in your life. This is the first Bond you're going to see. And then he's like, oh, okay. So he started watching it, and he couldn't stop saying, the man with the golden gun, who is he? What's this about? So he was intrigued right from the off. And like we say, I mean, that's an amazing title. Unfortunately, we had to go out and the recording missed the second half, which I was really gutted. But I'm going to bring Golden Gun, I'm going to bring Spy, and I'm going to bring Moonraker for Christmas. And we're going to have a nice little Bondian sort of introduction.
Beautiful, man. That's a beautiful story. Yeah. The grooming process has begun, Chris. You've started the long and steady process for the ultimate payoff, and I'm very happy with that. So even though obviously you couldn't get home in time to do the Majesty's episode, you were still, enjoying some Bondian love, which is great. That's the main thing in it, and taking it on to the new generation as well. So that's a wonderful thing. Yeah. Now, one thing I saw online the other day is the obviously we're talking about Majesty, so this would be an appropriate time to mention. Obviously, we have a listener who is particularly fond of Majesties. You might have heard us mention Sheila James once or twice or 100 times since we started recording Majesty's episodes. And good old Terry Mountain did a little shout out on Facebook and to his mate George, obviously George Lazenby, and said, George, would you mind saying hello to Sheila over Facebook? And of course, he did, and he commented back, tagged Sheila in it. Just wanted to say hi, Sheila, and then Sheila obviously had a little bit of a wobbly moment, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, certainly did. That was so nice to see, and I think she's still on cloud 9 now, and that was sort of last week. I think a couple of weeks ago. I think it was. It's nice. I think if she ever met him in person, we'd need sort of a medic or someone close by.
I think that's probably true for the both of us as well, don't you think? I think there would be a little bit of that going on. But I've got the comment in front of me. George says, literally, Sheila James, I just want to say hi, and he gives a little kiss at the end. And then Sheila said, and with that message, I fell on the floor of my den. He did it, and oh my goodness. Hello right back. I'm one of your most ardent fans. I'll just say you have made my century. Infinity, times infinity. Merry Christmas, you've made mine. I have a smile as big as the Swiss Alps. I'll always keep your martini cool. So there we go. Do you think that's the start of a romance, Chris?
I think it is, and that's a great reply as well. Yeah, some great lines in there by Sheila, so I think George will appreciate that.
Absolutely, good stuff. So I suppose in there, before we get cracking on with the quiz questions, Chris, there's been a somewhat large sort of notable film that's come out recently, which is, of course, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Yes.
What did you think of it? Have you seen it yet?
Okay, I have. Now, I think we need to put a little spoiler alert here.
Yes, we do.
Because we are going to mention some things. So, basically, if you don't want to hear anything Star Wars, please move forward to this time.
14 minutes and 17 seconds.
So, Star Wars, we've got to mention it because I only saw it for the first time last night. You've obviously saw it a few days ago, didn't you? Last night being a few weeks ago, actually. And yeah, prior to the film, I made sure I didn't hear any of the spoilers. You know, I saw a lot of people commenting, but it was mainly yes, I liked it, no, I didn't. You know, stuff like that. And initially, it was all praise, and then I saw quite a few people sounding quite negative, so I wasn't 100% sure. But I went in and watched it, and man, I thought there was one thing I wasn't sure about, but aside from that, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great fun. And there were moments where I was on the edge of my seat. There were moments where I was getting a little bit teary, a little bit emotional.
Right.
There were moments where I was like, just getting involved. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, I must say I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. I came out with that big smile on my face. I was gripped throughout. There was no bits in there that I was like, this is rubbish. But in hindsight, when I look back at it, there are a few things that I'd be like, there are some unusual choices in there. Number one, I think that bit with Leia out in space floating around, that's
the only bit they got that I was like, oh.
I was like, that's just weird. I don't know what that's in there for. You know what I mean?
No.
You've never seen her really use the Force before and all that kind of stuff. So there was that. And then I thought that kind of whole casino sequence a bit later on, you could have trimmed a lot of that out and sort of just not had that. And the big chase on those kind of big horsey animals or whatever they were, I feel like you could have it was just there for the sake of having a chase, I think. But other than that, I mean, not that I didn't enjoy those sequences, but like when you look back at it, I think you could have had a tighter film without some of those things in there. And I'm intrigued to see how they deal with Princess Leia after this, because I assumed they'd go in there and they'd tweak it a little bit after Carrie Fisher died, obviously. And obviously they didn't, and she's alive at the end. So I'm intrigued to see how they're going to play that with the next episode. But I thought, man, they had an opportunity there to give her the perfect send-off. And the perfect send-off for me would have been what was her name now? The lady who kind of like...
The Vice Admiral.
Yeah, the woman that stepped in to sort of take Leia's place a little bit. Obviously, her piloting the ship, like the suicide ramming mission into the ships. I feel like Carrie Fisher should have been Princess Leia who did that, and I think that would have been the perfect send-off. And I think it would have been an easy thing to do, to like do a quick reshoot. You'd have had Laura Dern in there. You'd have had the scene where she tells Leia what she's going to do. Somebody's got to pilot the ship, and Leia gives her a cuddle and gets in the transport. I feel like after that, you'd have a little reshoot with Laura Dern. You wouldn't even see anybody do it. You'd see her get stunned from behind or whatever. Laura Dern's out for the count. She wakes up on the transport. She's already out of the ship on her way to the planet. And then you just see Leia from behind piloting the controls of the ship. And I feel like you wouldn't have even needed Carrie Fisher to do that. That would have been an easy way to reshoot it. And I think that would have been the perfect send-off for her. But now, I'm just curious how the hell they're going to deal with it in the next episode.
Mate, you just came up with an absolutely blinding idea there. That would have been perfect and like so good for the character. It depends on how much time they had between when she passed away to what stage they were in post. If it had been completely in the can, then obviously it would have been tricky. But that would have been that would have been a perfect send off. Yeah. But I mean, there was one. There were lots of moments I thought were good. I liked the whole Rey versus Kylo Ren and that with their lightsabers in between them and their power. And I like the fact that they flirted with her going to the dark side and him going to the light, because I'd heard a little bit about that before, but I think they played that side really well. Yeah. But the scene I think visually was amazing, and we mentioned this a little bit earlier, was when Luke Skywalker comes out to face like Kylo Ren, and you see all these sort of Walker things, and you've got the big ship and all these guns, and it's just him being a badass standing in front of them. But obviously there's a little secret behind that as well, which I thought was quite cool. Yeah, I feel like they got rid of Luke too soon, man, with the way he sort of just disappears at the end there. I feel like I needed to see a bit more of Luke being a badass after all that build up and all those years. I feel like, definitely have him go the way of Obi-Wan, but do it at the end of episode 9. Do you know what I mean? Don't do it yet, because I feel like you've only just got him back. You know what I mean? Yeah, and especially, well, it'll be interesting to see what they do, for sure. Absolutely. But enjoyed it. There we go. So what else has been going on, Chris? So I think this will be a perfect time to give a big JBR shout out to some of the donators. Much appreciated, definitely. So a big shout out to Fraser Lockley, Ben Pember, Gerd Nordhagen, Paul Lally, James Johnson, Mr. D. Nobbs, Julian O'Hare, Jeff Silence, and Richard Barrett Small. So that's
Very
a big
nice.
thumbs up from both of us.
Thank you very
guys.
much to everybody on that list there. Much appreciated. Always appreciated. Thank you very much for that. So, Chris, what's it time for now?
Yes. Well, before that, there was one little thing that I think we should discuss, which you suggested,
Go on.
which is, what do you think James Bond does at Christmas? Now, we know what he does when he's in Switzerland,
Yep.
and we know what he does when he's in Turkey.
Yep.
But when he's not in Switzerland and he's not in Turkey, how do we think James Bond spends his Christmas? Is he always on a mission? Does he ever have time to relax and enjoy the festivities that it allows? What do you think?
I think it depends on who is playing him, right? I imagine I have a very vivid image of Daniel's Bond, rather like that scene in Spectre when Moneypenny comes to his apartment. I have a feeling Daniel's Bond has no time for Christmas. He hates it. He doesn't, he's walking around outside, he sees all the decorations, he's not into it at all. He sits at home with his shoulder holster on, getting drunk and, watching M's little videotape over and over on loop and waits till he can go back to work. I feel like that's what Daniel's Bond would do. Well, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Daniel's... Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. Out of the ones who I think would sort of embrace it, I mean, George is obviously... It's going to be a tricky one because he's kind of Christmas, so I think he would. I think Roger's Bond would embrace it.
He would definitely embrace it. Yeah.
He would love it. In fact, he'd probably happily dress up as Santa in disguise for some sort of mission when he's some sort of.
Do you know what I feel like Roger's Bond would be in some alpine cabin somewhere with probably 2 or 3 beautiful ladies, open fire on the go, proper doing it to the maximum. Yeah, I think that's what Roger's Bond would do.
Yeah. I can see Pierce enjoying it as well. Pierce's Bond, I think he'd have a bit of time for it. Tim's, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about Tim. I feel like I'm not sure I can picture him in any kind of Christmas way. So maybe he just doesn't have time for it either.
No, yeah, Tim and Daniel. I suppose the tougher, grittier guys might not be into it as much as the others. I guess Sean, where would Sean lie for you then? What would Sean do at Christmas? Sean's Bond do at Christmas?
I feel like he'd have a bit of disdain for it, but I also think he'd sort of embrace it a little bit. Do you know what I mean? He'd sort of roll his eyes at Christmas, but he'd still get stuck in a little bit, I think.
And I think he'd sort of indulge a little bit as well, I think.
I could see him bringing a little present in for Moneypenny. Do you know what I mean? A little gift wrap, little flirty gift or something. You know what I mean?
He certainly would. Yeah. Maybe a dildo or something like that.
yeah, absolutely. So very nice indeed. Cool. All right then, Chris. So should we crack on with this year's Bumper Boxing Day Bond Bonanza quiz?
Let's do it. Here we go.
Who are you?
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Bond.
James.
Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British hand up, sir.
Welcome to James Bond Radio. News, reviews, and discussion of all things 007.
Pussy. As you can see, I have no problem with female authority.
Oh, pipe down, 007.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Okay, so as per usual, we're going to have some different categories of questions, aren't we? And just so everybody knows about how we're kind of taking part in this, basically what we do is I've come up with 5 questions for each category. Chris has come up with 5 questions for each category. And then we obviously quiz each other a little bit. And then at the end, we so obviously I'll only answer 50 questions, Chris will only answer. And then whatever score we get out of the 50, we kind of double as a rough estimate guess of where we'd end up if we'd have answered all 100. So that's how we're going. And then obviously there's, for everybody playing at home, there's like a sliding scale of ratings at the end. So you can rate yourself based on your score as well, which is all very exciting, isn't it, Chris?
Yep, so the categories this year, last year we sort of looked at a few different characters. This year, the category system is going to be based on vehicle, well, mainly cars really, Bond cars. So basically, when you get to the end of the quiz, we'll tell you what the categories are, and then you can obviously compare and see what Bond car you get to drive away. Now, they could be awesome, they could be really good, they might also be a little bit shit. So it will depend on what score you get.
I feel like I know what the best car is going to be if you get 100 points. And I feel like I know what the second best one is going to be as well.
Yeah.
Where everything else falls in the middle. I feel like I'm a little bit. I'm intrigued to see how that goes.
Yeah.
So obviously, the first category, Chris. Are you ready? Have you got your pens and papers at the ready?
I have, and this time we'll make sure that we have to score because sometimes we forget to score each other, and then it takes freaking ages. So right. So we'll make sure we score.
Right,
this
I've
time.
got my pens and papers at the ready. Everybody at home playing along, get your pens and papers at the ready because we don't accept cheaters on this. So you've got to get involved. You've got to do it properly. You've got to be honest. Now, the very first category is obviously the Sean Connery category. Are you ready? Shall we begin proceedings, Chris?
This is it. So just very briefly to go through. We're going to list the questions each, then we're going to go back and then we need the answers. So you do get that little bit of time to think of the answers. So I tell you what, do you want to go first then?
All right.
You go through yours and then I'll go through mine and then we'll get the answers in afterwards.
Okay, here we go then. Cue some tension music. Ding, 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 ding. Round one. Sean Connery round. Here we go.
Yes.
Chris Wright, are you ready? Listeners at home, are you ready? Question number 1. What is the official full name of the colour of Bond's Aston Martin DB5? Ooh. If you were to order an Aston Martin DB5 from the Aston Martin catalogue that looks exactly like Sean's in Goldfinger, what would be the full name of its colour?
Damn, that's a good one.
Question number 2. What is the story of the Skinny Bridge? What is the story behind the Skinny Bridge? Now, obviously, there's a fair amount of detail that the tour guide goes into. So, as long as you get the gist of the answer, you don't have to get it word for word. I'm happy with that.
Okay, cool.
Question number 3. Now, I know I'm just going to ask a question before I say anything else. On which finger does Blofeld wear his Spectre ring? Ooh. On which finger does Blofeld wear his Spectre ring? Now, I've taken this from Russia with Love, and I've also noticed he wears it on the same finger in You Only Live Twice as well. So I have a feeling that's probably the theme. He sticks it on the same finger every time. But I didn't check the other films, so he might wear it on different fingers in the other films in between. But primarily from Russia with Love and Yolt, what finger does he wear his Spectre ring?
Great question.
Question number 4. How many inches taller does Bond tell Patricia Fearing he must be after his session on the rack? That is, how many inches taller does Bond tell Patricia Fearing he must be after his session on the rack? That's obviously a Thunderball question. And my 5th and final question from the Sean Connery round is, in You Only Live Twice, what gas does Blofeld use to keep the visitors away from his volcano cave? What gas does Blofeld use to keep the visitors away from his volcano cave? All right, you feeling strong after round 1, Chris?
Medium. I'm feeling very medium.
Cool stuff.
Okay, there's some great. I love the questions, though, Tom. Superb questions.
Lovely.
Okay, so for my round, Sir Thomas Sean Connery. Question 1. Tom, what is Sean Connery's date of birth? Question 1. What is Sean Connery's date of birth? Now, there is leeway here to get half marks, which we'll go into. Question 2. How long does it take Red Grant to kill the Bond lookalike in From Russia with Love? That's how long does Red Grant take to kill the Bond lookalike in From Russia with Love?
Okay.
Question 3. What alias does Jill Masterson's sister use when meeting Bond, and what makes him suspicious? So that's question 3. What alias does Jill Masterson's sister use, and what makes James Bond suspicious? Okay. Question 4. How does Emilio Largo describe the Golden Grotto Sharks? How does Emilio Largo describe the Golden Grotto Sharks in Thunderball, obviously? Final question for this round. Question 5. What is the one thing Tanaka's honourable mother told him long ago?
Okay, cool.
I'll repeat that again. What is the one thing that Tanaka's honourable mother told him long ago?
Okay, cool.
Okay. Right, so there we are. There are the Sean Connery questions.
All right, very nice. That's round 1 in the bag. 10 questions there, done. So, should we go through the answers to the first section?
Let's do it. Okay, let's go for it.
Here we go. Get your pens out. You can mark your scores. So, question number 1 from me is, what is the official full name of the colour of Bond's DB5? That is, of course, Chris. Can you give it to me?
I've got 2 potential answers, and I don't know what it is.
Go on.
I've got, is it something like birch grey?
It's something like that. It's silver birch.
Silver birch.
Yes, there it is.
Silver birch. I knew it had a birch in there somewhere.
There you go. Which almost sounds like that could be a Bond film title, doesn't it? Silver birch.
Silver birch. Yeah, that's true, actually.
Question number 2 was, what is the story behind the skinny bridge? Can you give me some of that?
Okay. So that is, there were 2 sisters that lived on either side, and they wanted to meet each other. So they were building this bridge so they could meet each other, but they ran out of money, and therefore they included that little bit in the middle, and therefore they called it the skinny bridge.
There you go. It's an almost perfect answer. To quote the tour guide, it was built over 300 years ago by 2 sisters who wanted to visit each other every day. Unfortunately, they ran out of money, so that is why they call it the skinny bridge. There it is.
That was such a good impersonation.
Thanks, man.
I love it.
You did well there. Good stuff. Good. Question number 3 was, on which finger does on which finger does Blofeld wear his Spectre ring?
Oh, mate, this one is really, I'm not sure at all. I'm going to go with,
Come on, time's ticking. What's he got? What's he doing?
Little finger on his right hand.
Absolutely right. It's pinky. Yeah. I wasn't going for the specific hand, actually. I just wanted the finger. So it's his pinky finger.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff. Excellent work. Good guess. Number 4, how many inches taller does Bond tell Patricia fearing he must be after his session on the rack?
I think this is 6 inches taller.
Absolutely. I must be 6 inches taller. Question number 5, the last one from me, is, in You Only Live Twice, what gas does Blofeld use to keep the visitors away from his volcano cave?
That would be phosgene gas.
Phosgene gas. I'll give you that.
Phosgene. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Phosgene.
Good stuff. So what's your score so far, Chris?
You're meant to be keeping score for me,
keeping
aren't
score
you?
for you?
Yeah, I know I'm keeping score for you.
Is that what we're doing? All right, okay.
Well, yeah,
I thought we just ticked
because
and then counted up at the end. All right, let me...
do I get a half mark for birch grey or not?
Are we doing half
but
marks?
not
I'm going to let
birch.
you have that decision.
Yeah, because loads of mine are half marks.
So you got skinny bridge, you got Spectre ring, you got 6 inches taller, you got phosgene gas, you got 4.5 marks, Chris. Well done.
4.5 marks. Lovely jubbly. Okay, so on to you, Tom.
This is where I disgrace myself.
First question. No. First question. No, there are half marks available for this as well. First question. What is Sean Connery's date of birth?
I have absolutely no idea, shamefully.
If you can tell me the year, you'll get a half mark.
Okay, so I can take an educated guess, and I'm going to say 1932.
Oh, that's so close. It's 1930. Well, the full date of birth, the 25th of August, 1930.
Okay. Very nice. Good stuff.
But 1930.
All right, cool.
Okay. Question 2. How long does it take Red Grant to kill the Bond lookalike in From Russia with Love?
I'm guessing on this, but I have something in my mind is telling me it's 6 minutes.
No, a little bit less than that. Go on, I'll give you one more. It's something minutes, something seconds. I don't know if that helps.
4 minutes, 23 seconds.
Red Grant did it in a really quick time.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly 1 minute, 52 seconds. That's excellent.
That is excellent,
That's
isn't it? Really,
quick,
when you
isn't
think
it?
about it, that's very efficient. Yeah.
That's uber quick by Red Grant. Okay, on to question number 3. What alias does Jill Masterson's sister use, and what makes Bond suspicious?
It's
in Goldfinger, obviously.
Tilly Soames. Is it Tilly or Julie Soames? It's Tilly, isn't it?
No, Tilly.
Tilly Soames.
Yeah, Tilly. Excellent.
Tilly
nice
Soames, and he's suspicious because he sees her initials on the little gun case. That's actually what she says is where she keeps her ice skates, and it doesn't say JS. It says TM, which is Tilly Masterson.
Brilliant.
Obviously. Yes,
lovely. Yeah, superb, Tommy, superb. Okay, on to question 4. How does Emilio Largo describe the notorious Golden Grotto sharks?
I can't remember this. It's probably ferocious and deadly.
I can give you a hint. Oh, very close. It's the most something. So it's the most something, the most something.
The most ferocious, the most deadly.
Oh, that's very close. You're pretty much there.
Go on.
It's two different words, but it's the same meanings as what you're saying now. But they mean exactly the same. It's. Do you want one more go?
No, it's okay. Go on.
I'll give you. Okay, it's the most savage, the most dangerous.
But
nice. Do you know what? You get a half mark for that because you're pretty much. They are the same meanings as what you said. So you definitely get a half mark for that one.
Well, thank you. That's very generous of you.
Okay, now this one. What did Tanaka's honourable mother tell him long ago?
Is it something about getting into cars with beautiful women?
Yes. What about it? Well, not beautiful. Yeah, very
with
close.
Strange women.
It's yes. And what should he do? Get into cars or not get into cars?
Not get into cars with strange women.
Yes. Definitely, man.
Very
Superb.
nice.
You get a mark for that as well.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Superb.
So that's it. That's round one done in the bag.
That's it. That's Sean Connery. So we're moving on to Mr. George Lazenby.
Okay,
now,
here
Tom.
we go. So,
yes, go for it.
My 5 questions of round 2, George Lazenby round, are as follows. Question number 1. After his hotel room fight, Bond pauses to help himself to a little bit of caviar. As he takes a bite, he mentions where this particular type of caviar is from. Where is it from? So he's had a little fight in his hotel room. He pauses to have a little bit of caviar at the end. And he happens just, quite oddly really, just remarks to himself where that caviar is from. And I would like to know.
I thought you were about
to
say it then.
It's tempting. Question number 2. What is the name of MI6's operation to get Blofeld? That is, what is the name of MI6's operation to get Blofeld? It's something of a must with Bond. There's a little bit of a clue for you. Question number 3. In his communications with Blofeld's people, Sir Hilary Bray... I'm going to start that again because I can't speak properly. Question 3. In his communications with Blofeld's people, Sir Hilary Bray mentions his fee. There was no objection to my fee of... How much was his fee?
Tommy, good question.
In his communications with Blofeld's people, Hilary Bray mentions his fee. How much was it? Question number 4. What is Bond's room number? Not Boom's Rond number. What is Bond's room number in Peace Gloria? When he stays at Peace Gloria, what is his room number? And my final question in the George round is, Blofeld mentions the lack of earlobes is a well-known feature of the de Beauchamp family line, like the Habsburg lip or the something of the Medicis. What feature did the Medici family have? That is, Blofeld mentions the lack of earlobes is a well-known feature of the de Beauchamp family line, like the Habsburg lip or the something of the Medicis. What feature did the Medici family have?
Wow.
All
okay,
right.
There's some tough questions there, Tommy.
All right, cool.
Okay, so on to my 5 questions for Mr. George Lazenby. Question 1, you could probably guess. What is George Lazenby's date of birth? Again, you get a half a mark for the year of his birth.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Question 2. According to the song, Do You Know How Christmas Trees Are Grown? Can you please tell me how Christmas cards are made? I think you'll probably get that. Question 3. What is Bond's New Year's resolution? That is, what is Bond's New Year's resolution? Question 4. What is the full name of the blonde British Secret Service agent who helps Bond during the film? I'll give you a clue. It's a dude.
Do you know what's funny? I very nearly had that question in my list as well, but I didn't go for it in the end. Yeah.
Finally, question 5. What Greek myth does Blofeld compare his potential relationship with Tracy to? So that's what Greek myth does Blofeld compare his potential relationship with Tracy to?
Shit. I've got a feeling I'm not going to do well in this year's quiz, Chris.
Well, I think, these ones are a bit...
They are a challenge. But anyway, let's flip it over then. It's time for the answers for the round 2 with the George Lazenby round.
Okay.
Question number 1 from me was, after his hotel room fight, Bond pauses to help himself to a little bit of caviar. As he takes a bite, he mentions where this type of caviar is from. Where is it from?
It's beluga, north of the Caspian.
Royal beluga, north of the Caspian.
Royal
That's
beluga.
It. Good. I was only after the north of the Caspian bit, but if you have royal beluga as well, that's nice too. But it was north of the Caspian. Very
Caspian.
nice.
Hey, I mean, that's some good taste buds he's got there.
To know that just from the flavour alone, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? Question number 2 is, what is the name of MI6's operation to get Blofeld?
That is Operation Bedlam.
It is indeed. But sir, Operation Bedlam's something of a must with me. There it is. There was a bit too much Roger in that performance. Number 3, in his communications with Blofeld's people, Sir Hilary Bray mentions his fee. There was no objection to my fee of how much was his fee?
Is it 1,000 guineas?
Chris Wright, you got it in one. Good stuff. I was thinking you might stumble on that one, but you got it.
That was that was a tricky one.
Guineas. What on earth is a guinea? I don't even know what that is. It's like old school money that nobody really knows about anymore. Question number 4 is, what is Bond's room number in Peace Gloria? This is a toughie.
Now, I think you've got me on this because obviously Ruby's is 8 and Bond's isn't 8. I can't remember. I honestly don't know. I think it could be 4, 5 or 6.
Okay.
But it might not be.
So
I'm going to go...
Go for it.
I'll just go with room 6, but I don't think it is.
Oh, so close. It was room number 4.
Oh, was it 4? Shit, why did I not say 4 first? I knew it was... There we go.
Good stuff. And then question number 5, the last one from me, is Blofeld mentions the lack of earlobes as a well-known feature of the de Beauchamp family line, like the Habsburg lip or the something of the Medicis. What feature did the Medici family have?
Was it the hook nose? The hawk nose?
Which one is it, Chris?
The Medicis. The hawk nose of the Medicis.
Absolutely right. The hawk nose of the Medicis. Well done. That was close. There was a battle between half a point and a full point there, Chris. And you did well. You came through in the end, man. I'm proud of you.
That was lucky. That was a lucky one.
Good stuff.
Okay, Tom. So we're on to my questions for George Lazenby. Now, you could probably guess what question 1 is going to be. It might be a tricky one again. Question 1. What is George Lazenby's date of birth? Now, again, you get a half mark for the year if you know that as well.
I'm going to take an educated guess, kind of like what I did last time, but it wasn't educated enough because I thought to myself, Connery was, I think, around 30, but thinking about it, I think he was 32 in Dr. No, wasn't he? So I guessed a little bit too wide of the mark for that one. And I can't remember whether George was 29 or 30 when he shot Majesty's, and I think he was 29. But that doesn't help me because I don't know what time of year the filming was completed. He might have changed age in the middle of filming. So I'm not 100% on this, but I think he was 29.
Yeah. And what do you have it? Do you have the year or potentially the month or date?
It's going to be 39 or 40.
Yeah.
And based on your action, I'm going to go with 39.
I reacted a bit quickly then. It is 1939.
Very nice.
Definitely. Can you have a guess at the month? A stab at the month?
I've got no chance of that one. I'm just going to jump out and I'm going to say July.
Oh, close. It's the 5th of September.
Very nice.
You definitely got the year, so that's superb. Nice one. Okay, now my question 2, I am going to change.
Okay.
And I do apologise to the listeners for this, and you can get more time on this. Basically, the whole Christmas cards thing, we've done that. That's out the window. That was my bad. I remember we did do something similar. So my new question 2, which I'll give you time to sort of answer, is what is the virus... Sorry, I'll start that again. What is a virus called that Blofeld threatens to unleash on the world if his terms are not met?
Do you know what? That is a beast of a question because it's one of those that I know it. Yeah. But it is eluding my brain right now. Well, I think the older I get, my short-term brain capacity is getting much, much smaller. Do you know what I mean? I have more of a deposit for long-term memories, I find. But when it's like short-term stuff, my brain doesn't work as well as it used to. I can feel myself aging, my brain aging in that regard. But all right, good question.
Me too, I think. Well, we'll come back to that then.
Right,
okay,
cool.
So my question 3 was, what is Bond's New Year's resolution? So that is, what is Bond's New Year's resolution? Any ideas? I can give you a clue.
His New Year's resolution. Do you know what? I don't have any clue on that one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you a clue. It was said to a certain someone in the barn scene.
Yeah. I get married and settle down. I know that's not it, but whatever.
It is kind of close. It was not to shag until their wedding night.
Oh, of course it is. Shit. Oh, yeah.
And then he uses that sort of pike to knock her down, and then
It's
she
not
goes
New
into
Year's
him, and he
yet.
goes,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there it is.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a tricky one. Okay, question 4. What is the full name of the blonde British Secret Service agent who helps Bond during the film?
I've seen it advertised, I tell you. That would be Campbell, whose
Yes,
name I
superb.
don't... Is that... Do you need a first name as well?
If you can get a first name, you get the full mark. Yes. So I'll give you a clue. It's also the name of one of the actors who plays Bond. The first name of one of the actors who plays Bond. Although it's spelt differently for the film version, but that doesn't really matter.
I'm going to say then maybe Sean Campbell.
Yes, Tom.
Nice.
Yes. I love it. Full mark there. I think they spell it Shaun for the film version, but it's still Sean Campbell.
There's
so
a lot
superb,
of different ways
definitely.
to spell Sean, isn't there? It's one of those names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is indeed. So there we go. So question 5, what Greek myth does Blofeld allude to when comparing his potential relationship with Tracy?
That's another one that's eluding me. I'm just going to say Zeus and his missus.
It's very close. This one is Paris and Helen of Troy.
Oh, do you know what? I would never have got that. Yeah, go on.
So this is based on in the myth, Helen of Troy or whatever was the most beautiful woman in the world, and she elopes. She's married to someone else, and she elopes with Paris. And basically, that's what Blofeld was comparing to Tracy going away and eloping with him. So he sort of says, what does he say? It's something like, what would Paris think when he woke up to a new dawn with his wife Helen of Troy, or something like that. I can't remember the full line, but that's basically
thy
what
dawn,
he says.
my prince,
Yeah.
thy dawn,
Yes.
or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what she says.
Yeah, that's
very
right.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so we're going to go back to question 2. The name of the virus that Blofeld threatens to use to unleash on the world unless his terms are met. I can give you a very nice clue with this one.
Is it AIDS? It's not AIDS, is it?
No, it's not AIDS.
Give me that clue then, because I need it.
Okay, it's also a brand of luxury watch, which Bond could be partial to.
Of course, it's the Omega virus.
Yes,
Yes.
Virus Omega.
See,
yes,
a lot
Virus
of the time,
Omega.
it's funny how a lot of those things are buried in your mind a little bit, and they just need that little nudge, and out they come, and then you can hear Blofeld saying it, you know? Yeah.
Virus Omega. Yeah, great one. Okay, so Brill, you got that nicely done.
Very
Tommy.
nice.
Nicely
That
done.
takes us on to round 3. I hope the listeners at home are keeping up and keeping score as they go with their pens and their pencils and their papers. Round 3 is obviously the Roger Moore round. So, question number 1 from me, Chris, I hope you're ready,
Yes.
is, what is the name of Hugo Drax's butler? That is, what is the name of Hugo Drax's butler? Question number 2. After Bond bids on the Fabergé egg, M is furious with him, saying, "You had no business bidding for that egg. Humph! What would you have done if you'd have got it?" What is Bond's reply? That is, after Bond bids on the Fabergé egg, M is furious with him, saying, "You had no business bidding for that egg. What would you have done if you'd have got it?" What is Bond's reply? Number 3. Who is MI6's man in northern Italy? That is, who is MI6's man in northern Italy?
Good question.
Obviously, this is the Roger answer. That narrows it down somewhat.
Yeah.
Question number 4. One of Felix's most quotable lines in Live and Let Die is, "Get me a make on a white pimpmobile." He then follows up with the license plate number. What is that number?
Oh.
One of Felix's most quotable lines in Live and Let Die is, "Get me a make on a white Pipmobile." He then follows up with the license plate number. What is that number? Okay, there is a half mark available for that one.
Okay.
And then a nice easy one. I thought I'd throw a bone out to some of our sort of maybe our younger listeners but younger listeners probably shouldn't be listening to this show with some of the language that goes on, Chris, and a lot of the conversation, let's be honest. But I thought I'd throw a bone out to people with this one. Nice easy question. Number 5. Where is Fekesh? That is question number 5. Where is Fekesh? And I feel like there's a line of books we could release there called Where is Fekesh? And there's the little man hiding like Wally or Waldo if you're American, and you have to find Fekesh. Yeah. That would be good, wouldn't it?
That's great, yeah. And we can set them in certain locations.
Yeah,
perhaps.
exactly.
That's brilliant. Okay, fab. Okay, on to my questions for Sir Roger. Question 1. Tom, can you tell me Sir Roger's date of birth? What was Sir Roger's date of birth? Now, I tell you what, we're going to, if you can get the year, I'm going to give you the full mark because these questions are a bit like tricky, aren't they? So we'll go full mark just for the year, or just for the year. If you can get a year, I'll give you the full mark. Okay, question 2. What was the full name of Bond's CIA contact in Harlem? So that was the full name of Bond's CIA contact in Harlem. Okay. Question 3. What did Scaramanga's parents do for a living? Question 3. What did Scaramanga's parents do for a living?
Okay.
Okay. Question 4. How many globes did Hugo Drax intend to release around the world? That's
me.
How many globes did Hugo Drax intend to release around the world?
Okay.
Finally, question 5. What 2 items does Kamal Khan tell Octopussy that James Bond likes? That's what 2 items does Kamal Khan tell Octopussy that James Bond likes?
Okay.
Okay.
Very nice. Swizzling it around them for the answers from my first Roger round. Question number 1. What is the name of Hugo Drax's butler?
I believe this is Cavendish.
Absolutely right. Cavendish it was. Well done. Question number 2. After Bond bids on the Fabergé egg, Emma's furious with him, saying, "You had no business bidding on that egg. What would you have done if you'd have got it?" What is Bond's reply?
I would have claimed it was a fake, sir, and not paid.
Oh, mate, that is fucking absolutely bang on. There's every single word of that is exactly what he said. Yeah, good work. Well done.
That's like a what's the next line?
Yeah. Question number 3. Who is MI6's man in northern Italy?
Oh, that's got to be Luigi Ferrara.
It has indeed. Luigi Ferrara it is. And next one, question number 4. One of Felix's most quotable lines in Live and Let Die is, "Get me a make on a white Pimobile." He then follows up with the license plate number. What is that number?
I think I know the end bit. Nelson David George.
Yes.
NDG.
That's,
Nelson David George.
Yeah.
What is the number that comes before?
See, that is why I said half marks are available, because I knew you'd get Nelson David George, but can you get the number?
Is it something like... on a white Pimobile? Oh, I don't know.
It is.
I don't know.
347
Is it 3 numbers?
Nelson David George. There
347. I knew it was 3 numbers. 347. Damn.
So,
good question, man.
Half point for you there. Good
one,
stuff. And then final question from me, and I know you're going to struggle with this one, Chris. Where is Fekesh?
Fekesh. Could he possibly be...
Yes. Yeah, and you do need the performance in there to get your full mark. So those writing it
everyone at home
you
has
had to write it in all capitals with a couple of exclamation marks at least to qualify for the point there. Good stuff. He was indeed at the pyramids. Yeah, good stuff. Well done.
Wow. I tell you what, there is that book. Where's Fekesh? We should get that on the go.
We should get that cooking, shouldn't we? Get it out. Man. Get it in the stores in time for Christmas. We're a bit late this year.
There we go.
Next time.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to my questions for Sir Roger. In what year was Sir Roger Moore born? In what year was Sir Roger Moore born? Now, if you think back to the earlier round, we had Sir Sean Connery was born in 1930. We had George Lazenby was born in 1939. Sir Roger Moore, what year was he born?
I think it would have been 1927.
Yes, it would,
Yes.
Tom. Superb, man. Excellent. Brilliant stuff. So you definitely get a full mark for that.
Are we doing that now? Is it just the year? You don't have to get the date and the month?
Yeah, we're doing just a year. Yeah, we're doing just a year.
All
I
right.
know I'm changing the ballpark, but I think it's only fair because maybe that's a bit too much. So
right.
yeah, we're getting full marks for the year.
All right,
definitely. Okay, so on to question 2. What is the full name of James Bond's CIA contact in Harlem? So what is the name of Bond's CIA contact in Harlem? It's like following a cue ball.
It's Strutter. I know it's Strutter.
Yes. Sorry, first name. I'll give you a clue. It begins with a H.
Harold.
Yes!
Yes, baby.
Yes!
Yes.
So good. Oh, mate. Love
Thank
it.
you.
That's brilliant.
Good stuff.
Okay.
All right.
On to question 3. What did Scaramanga's parents do for a living?
They worked in the circus, didn't they? Do you need the job within the circus or just the circus?
Oh, I mean, you got marks, but if you can, do you remember what perhaps the dad did?
Was it lion taming or something? Because
It's close. I mean, I'm giving you the mark anyway because they're in the circus. His dad was a ringmaster, and his mother, English, was a snake charmer. But that's
Very
like
nice.
that's like too much territory. But you got there in the circus too.
Cool.
Superb. So another full mark. God, you're flying through this one. Question 4: how many globes did Hugo Drax intend to release around the world?
I think it was 3.
Now, I did have a second part of the question,
All right.
which was, and how many were successfully launched that Bond had to destroy? Now, 3 is the answer to that second bit, which if I'd said, you would have got. But the main question, how many globes did Hugo Drax intend to release? So he released 3, Bond shot them down. How many did he intend to release?
This is a wild guess. I will say 10.
Bit more.
12.
50.
Oh, okay.
50
Damn.
globes, yeah. Each capable of killing 100,000 people, apparently.
That's a lot of people.
So that was a tricky one. It is a lot of people. Okay, so final question. What 2 items does Kamal Khan tell Octopussy that James Bond likes?
Is it cars and guns?
It isn't. I'll give you another clue.
Go on.
They... one could be culinary related and one could be gaming related. If you've got to think of the scenes that Bond has been in with Kamal, what they've been up to prior to Kamal seeing Octopussy.
Dice.
Yes! That's one of them.
And sheep's eyeballs.
Oh! It's... well, I definitely get the dice one. It's... I'll do it in the thing. Englishman likes eggs, preferably Fabergé, and dice, preferably loaded.
Of course.
His name is James Bond.
Yeah, James Bond.
So dice and eggs.
There it is.
But you definitely get a half mark for that one. Mate, you rocked that one. That was good.
Very nice. Okay.
3.5.
Next round is the Timmy round. There are going to be some listeners who specialise in this round. So let's hope you have a good one. Question number 1. According to Linda, Gibraltar is oh so boring. Why is it boring? According to Linda, Gibraltar is oh so boring. Why is it boring? Question number 2. Who played 004? That is, who played 004? I got to meet this gentleman and have my photo with him and 006 as well at Bond Stars a few years back when they did the Living Daylights Day. 002. Sorry, thank you. Next up, number 3. What is the inscription on the lighter Felix and Della give to Bond? What is the inscription on the lighter Felix and Della give to Bond? Question number 4. When Bond and Cara go on the Prance Park Ferris wheel, this is a difficult one. What is the number of the compartment they go in?
Flipping hell.
When they go on the Prance Park Ferris wheel, what is the number of the compartment they go in? Now, you will know this.
I know.
You will know this if you've seen my YouTube video where I did the Living Daylights tour around Vienna. And yes, because I made a big deal out of the fact that we didn't get to go in that number, and I was very disappointed. But that is a difficult one.
Yeah.
Question number 5. What brand name is on Bond's exploding toothpaste? That is, what brand name is on Bond's exploding toothpaste?
Oof. Okay, that is going to be a tough round, I think. Okay, so my questions for Tim. Question 1. In what year was Tim Dalton born? That's in what year was Tim Dalton born? Okay. Question 2. What line uttered by Koskov is heard verbatim in For Your Eyes Only? That's what line uttered by Koskov in The Living Daylights is heard verbatim in For Your Eyes Only. Okay. Question 3. When Bond is going through the KGB female assassins with Moneypenny, what methods of assassination are mentioned? So when Bond and Moneypenny are going through the female KGB assassins, what methods of assassination are mentioned?
Can you give me a number of how many different ones there are?
Yes, so basically there are two female assassins, and one of them sort of has 2 methods but pretty much the same thing, and another one has a different one. So basically 2.
Cool. All right, wicked.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, question 4. How does Bond refer to Q and Pam Bouvier when he introduces them to one another? So how does Bond refer to Q and Pam Bouvier when he introduces them to one another? Finally, question 5. Now, this is a bit of a stumper, but I know Dan Gale will get this. Question 5. What is the name of Professor Joe Butcher's book in License to Kill? What is the name of Professor Joe Butcher's book?
Do you know what's absolutely heartbreaking? I was skimming through License to Kill today, and I stopped on that book, and I thought to myself, okay, maybe I'm going to do a question, and that's going to be my question is, what is the title of that book? And I was like, nah, it's too difficult, so I skipped it over. And now I can't remember what it is in the book. Damn it.
No. We'll come back to that.
All right,
we'll come back to that. And hints are available.
Okay, so it's time for the answers. Are you ready, Chris?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, question number 1. According to Linda, Gibraltar is also boring. Why is it boring?
There's nothing but Playboy and tennis pros.
Very good, absolutely. It's also boring, Margot. There's nothing but Playboys and tennis pros. There it is. Good stuff. One of my favourite scenes in the whole movie. Good stuff. Number 2, who played 004?
Now, you know what? 002, I know, was Glyn Baker. Now, 004 is, and I can picture the guy. And I know you met him. Any hint at initials or not?
FW.
Frederick.
Go on. You're going to get this.
No.
It's not Frederick Shit.
It's not Frederick Ward. No, it's not Frederick Ward.
Oh, come on. Come on. What was it?
Frederick Warden?
I'm going to give it to you because it's so close. It's ridiculous. It's Frederick Warder.
Warder.
There it is.
I tell you what.
I'm giving you
only
full
give me
point.
No, because I had to take a hint as well, so I only get a half mark. I don't get a full mark because if without the hint, the initial hint, I wouldn't have got it. Right. Frederick Warder. Damn. Right.
All right. Number 3. What is the inscription on the lighter Felix and Della give to Bond?
Is it to James, love always, Della and Felix?
Absolutely. It doesn't say 2. It just says James. Love always, Della and Felix, but that's fine. I'll give you that.
No, you can take off a little bit.
No. You have that. Don't worry.
All right, James.
Number 4. When Bond and Cara go to the Pride Park Ferris wheel, what is the number of the compartment they go into? Now, I know
I don't
this
even
is
know
almost
how
impossible.
many compartments there are.
But
how
go on,
many
have a wild
compartments
guess.
were there? All right. Do you know how many compartments are on the wheel?
I don't know in total.
Just to give me a ball.
I think maybe 12. Let's say that.
Oh, bollocks. Okay, so because my answer was going to be 15, but it's not now.
There might be more than 12. I don't know. I'm just having a wild guess
let's go. I'm going to go with compartment 9.
You are so close. It's actually number 10.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go,
damn
mate.
it. Compartment 10. There we go.
All right, cool. 5th and final question from me for the Timmy round is what brand name is on Bond's exploding toothpaste?
That has to be Dentonite.
Absolutely. Dentonite it is.
Lovely.
Good stuff.
Dentonite toothpaste.
Excellent
Cool.
work. Okay.
That was tricky round.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough round. So let's go through your questions again.
Okay, so on to question 1 for Mr. Tim Dalton. Can you tell me what is Timothy's date of... what year was Timothy born?
I would say...
What year?
Again, I'm going to have to do some guesswork on this. I think Timmy was 42 when he got Bond.
Oh, yes.
Based
42.
on your reaction.
No.
It was either him or I think Pierce might have been 42, so I might have gotten confused with that.
Yeah.
So he
very
was
close,
definitely in his 40s, I think. So I've got a number in my head. It's either 40 or 42. So I'm gonna say, obviously, Living Daylights was filmed in 87. So I'm gonna say he was born in 47.
Oh! One year out.
48.
46.
Close.
But that's some good detective work.
Thanks, man.
That's some bloody good detective work. Okay. So, question 2. What line uttered by General Georgy Koskov is heard verbatim in For Your Eyes Only? That's what line uttered by Koskov is heard verbatim in For Your Eyes Only.
Is it, you put some clothes on and I'll buy you an ice cream?
No. I'll give you a clue. It's about what can I do without giving it away? Basically, he's saying it about someone else. So whatever line Koskov is saying.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Sorry.
No idea.
Okay.
Go on, go for it.
I tell you, the For Your Eyes Only one is Aris Christatos saying it about Colombo. The same line as Koskov saying it about Pushkin. It is, once we were like brothers.
When does he say that?
Yeah.
Who's he saying that about?
So he's saying that to Bond about General Pushkin.
Of course, yeah. All right, cool.
And Christatos says it to Bond about him and Colombo in For Your Eyes Only. Same line.
Very nice.
But that is a tricky one.
Cool.
Okay, question 3. When Bond is going through female KGB assassins with Moneypenny, what 2 assassination methods are mentioned?
My favourite one, which is exploding teddy bear. That's one
so
of them.
Good. Yeah, superb.
And the other one is strangulation with thighs.
Yes, superb. Hands or thighs, he says both. But
Very nice.
Precursor to
Xenia
on the top. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Okay, question 4. How does Bond refer to Q and Pam Bouvier when he introduces them to one another?
We must be related. Uncle and cousin.
Yes. Excellent,
Very
Tom.
nice.
Superb. And final question for the Tim Dalton round. What is the name of Professor Joe Butcher's book?
When you tell it to me, I will remember it because it was literally about 4 hours ago that I was composing some of my questions.
Really?
And I looked at that book and then I thought...
I can tell you how many words. It's 6 words. This is like charades, isn't it? And the first word is...
Nah, you're going to have to give it to me. What is it?
Okay. I'll tell you the first 2 words. It's The Secrets of...
Something mind, isn't it?
Similar, yeah. It's The Secrets of Cone Power Revealed.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Maybe I was looking at a different book
then,
because I don't remember that.
Oh, he's got that little necklace with the cone at the end, and there's a woman meditating on the book, and it's all, it's all that sort of spiel.
Very nice.
But that is a tricky one, though. That's an uber tricky one.
Absolutely.
Professor Joe Butcher's book.
All right.
Okay.
Cool stuff.
So
moving on to the next round then. It's round number 5. It's the Pierce Brosnan round. Everybody ready?
This is your best, isn't it?
This is my best round, usually, historically.
Yeah.
Right, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Round 5. Everybody pens and paper at the ready. Question number 1. When Bond bumps into Paris Carver, she gives him a good slap across the face. Bond says, "Was it something I said?" What is her reply? That is, when Bond bumps into Paris Carver, she gives him a good slap across the face. Bond says, "Was it something I said?" What is her reply? Question number 2. When Bond visits Valentin Zukovsky at his casino, he finds him in his office, accompanied by 2 lovely ladies. What are their names? This is obviously a world is not enough question. When Bond visits Valentin Zukovsky at his casino, he finds him in his office, accompanied by 2 lovely ladies. What are their names? Question number 3. Just before Elektra's game of one card, high draw, Bond instructs the dealer to do something. What does he ask him to do? That is, just before Elektra's game of one card, high draw, Bond instructs the dealer to do something. What does he ask him to do? Question number 4. When Bond shaves off his beard in Die Another Day, he gets a visit from a masseuse, compliments of the manager. What is her name? When Bond shaves off his beard in Die Another Day, he gets a visit from a masseuse, compliments of the manager. What is her name?
I was wondering whether you do a Die Another Day question.
And then question number 5, GoldenEye related. During the GoldenEye tank chase, Bond's tank bursts through a truck carrying about 1 million cans of a particular branded beverage. Name that brand. That is, during the tank chase, Bond's tank bursts through a truck carrying about 1 million cans of a particular branded beverage. Name that brand. All right.
Good questions.
Turning it over to you, Chris. What have you got for me?
Okay, so question 1, Pierce Brosnan. Tom, can you tell me in what year Pierce Brosnan was born? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Right. So it's okay. So I think he was 42 when he got GoldenEye. So
you are correct in that. Yeah,
all right.
When it was released,
that means he was probably
You've
born
got time to work it out.
in 19...
Wait, don't answer yet.
Of course.
Yet.
Sorry, I was getting
yet.
too excited. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Question 2. What tattoo does Jack Wade have and what does it relate to? So question 2, what type of tattoo does Jack Wade have and what does it relate to?
All right.
Okay. Question 3, how does Elliot Carver discover that his wife knows that James Bond is a government agent? So how does Elliot Carver discover that his wife knows Bond is a government agent? Okay. Question 4, this is very similar to yours actually. What playing cards do Elektra and Valentin Sukovsky draw in the casino scene? So what playing cards do Elektra and Valentin Sukovsky draw in the casino scene? Obviously a half mark for each. Final question. You'll like this one, Tom. According to Bond in Die Another Day, what's the coldest weapon of all? So according to Bond in Die Another Day, what's the coldest weapon of all?
Coldest weapon. All right, okay.
Okay, so there we go.
All right, cool stuff. Spinning it around then, it's time for the answers. Question number 1. When Bond bumps into Paris Carver, she gives him a good slap across the face. Bond says, was it something I said? What is her reply?
How about the words, I'll be right back?
Absolutely on the nose. Well done. Good stuff. Question number 2. When Bond visits Valentin Zukovsky at his casino, he finds him in his office accompanied by 2 lovely ladies. What were their names?
Nina is one.
Yep.
And something beginning with V. Nina and Verushka.
Absolutely bang on the nose again.
Oh.
Nina and Verushka. There it is. Good stuff. Question number 3. Just before Elektra's game of one card high draw, which I wish I'd have paid more attention to when I was watching it earlier,
No.
Bond instructs the dealer to do something. What does he ask him to do?
He asks him to bury the top 3 cards.
He does indeed. All right.
Now, just very quickly on that, if he didn't ask him to do that, obviously there was a
maybe
setup
she would have
there,
won.
but
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, who knows? Strange. Cool. What was the next one?
Number 4 was when Bond shaves off his beard in Die Another Day, he gets a visit from a masseuse, compliments of the manager. What is her name?
It's something weird, isn't it?
It is.
It's like Peaceful Fountains of Desire.
That is exactly what it is.
Oh.
Peaceful Fountains of Desire. You were on fire this round, Chris Wright. Well done.
That is a weird name.
It is indeed, isn't it?
Do you think that's what her parents named her?
I'm guessing so, yeah. Or maybe that's her sort of masseuse name. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then number 5, final question from me this round, is during the GoldenEye tank chase, Bond's tank bursts through a truck carrying about 1 million cans of a particular branded beverage. Name that brand.
I believe that's Perrier.
Well done. Full marks, Chris. Excellent performance this round. Well done. Cool. Right. Turning over to you now. What's going on? Talk to me.
Right. Now, I know you're gonna back me up with this one.
Right.
Okay, so Pierce Brosnan. Question 1. In what year was Pierce Brosnan born?
I know you got this, Tommy. I think it was 1950, 2 or 3. I think it's 2. 3?
Yes, 1953. Well done, Tom.
I get half mark for that one.
No. You're getting a mark because you knew it. 1953. Superb. Okay, so question 2. What tattoo does Jack Wade have and what does it relate to?
It's a rose with the word Muffy above it, which is the name of his third wife.
Oh, you get third wife as well. That's superb, man. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, question 3. How does Elliot Carver discover that his wife knows Bond is a government agent?
Tell me, James, do you still sleep with a gun under your pillow?
So, that was going to be the question, what's the line? But that's brilliant, mate. You're caning this round as well. Okay, so question 4.
So actually, we should say that is obviously Gupta records her saying that and shows it to him. So that's how he hears it, I guess.
That's how he knows.
Mechanical way.
Sorry, that is. Thank you very much. Okay, so question 4. What playing cards do Elektra and Valentin Zukovsky draw in the casino scene?
Can't remember. I know Valentin draws something of clubs. And I think it's either the 8. I think it's the 8 of clubs or the ace.
Yes, ace of clubs. Superb. So you definitely got that. Now, Elektra. Think of who she is, and that might relate to what card is drawn.
The Queen of Hearts.
Yes!
Is it really? Shut up. Is it really what it is?
It is. Honestly.
Fucking
the Queen
hell.
of Hearts and the Ace of Clubs.
Well, give me half a
full
point for that,
marks,
because I did rely heavily on your guesses.
But you would have got them, though,
No,
wouldn't
I
you?
wouldn't. Give me half a mark.
Well, you got the Ace of Clubs, definitely. Okay, half a mark. So, and the Queen of Hearts was the other one. And finally, according to Bond in Die Another Day, what's the coldest weapon of all? What is the coldest weapon of all?
I don't know this because it's been 15 years since I saw it. The coldest weapon, I guess, is...
It's not to be taken too literally.
Is, I don't know, love or something like that? I don't know.
You're pretty much there.
Go on, what is it then? A kiss?
No, like a bit more.
A broken
Ramp it up
heart?
a bit.
I don't know, go on, what is it?
It's sex, Tom. Sex is the coldest weapon of all. So he's speaking to Gustav Graves, and Gustav Graves says he's used Miranda for her brains, her intelligence, and her sex. And Bond goes, the coldest weapon of all. Well, he doesn't go, because that's Roger, but he does say the coldest weapon of all.
Very nice.
So there we go. Nice.
Cool.
Superb.
All right, Coolio,
Okay.
it's on to round number 6 then, which is, of course, the final of the Bond-related rounds with good old Daniel. So question number 1. What is the full name? Now, I am needing full name here, first and last name, of M's turncoat bodyguard in Quantum of Solace. What is the name of M's turncoat bodyguard in Quantum of Solace? Question number 2.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Which London Underground tube station featured in the chase sequence in Skyfall? Which London Underground tube station featured in the chase sequence in Skyfall? Number 3. Which London Underground tube station did that tube station double for? That is, which London Underground tube station did that tube station double for? So... The tube station that they actually filmed in was actually an unused one. It's not actually active these days. So they had to pretend it was another one. And I want to know what that tube station was meant to be. All right.
Oh, bloody hell.
Question number 4. That is a toughie. When Bond meets Madeleine in her office at the Hoffler Clinic, he mentions she'd previously spent 2 years working with a particular organisation. What is the name of that organisation? That is, when Bond meets Madeleine in her office at the Hoffler Clinic, he mentions she'd previously spent 2 years working with a particular organisation. What is the name of that organisation? And then my final question for the Daniel round is, who was the set designer on Quantum of Solace? That is, who was the set designer on Quantum of Solace?
Mate, I think you've ruined me in this round. I haven't seen my Daniels for quite a while.
Yeah.
But okay, over to you then. First question. Can you guess what it is, Tom?
Go on, give it to me.
In what year was a certain Daniel Craig born? In what year was Daniel Craig born? Okay. Question 2. Why does Bond decide to name his drink a Vesper? Why does Bond decide to name his drink a Vesper? Question 3. What is the name of Dominic Green's scheme to control the water supply of Bolivia?
The name of the scheme?
What is the name of Dominic Green's scheme to control the water supply of Bolivia?
Okay.
Question 4. What is the key word needed to reveal Silver's Amiga site that Q is trying to hack into? So there's a certain word that's needed which basically unlocks Silver's computer system. And what is it? Finally, how did Franz Oberhauser's dad die? That's how did Franz Oberhauser's dad die?
Okay. All right.
Okay. I'm not liking this one.
Me either. I'm not very confident here. Okay, so question number 1 from me was, what is the name of M's turncoat bodyguard in Quantum of Solace? I need the full name, first and last. Obviously, there's half marks available.
Yeah. So I'd say Mitchell
Yep.
is the surname. Is it Craig?
It is Craig. I was about to give you the clue that the round we're in might help you somewhere along the line.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Daniel Craig. Craig Mitchell it was. Well done. Good
Craig
stuff.
Mitchell. Oh, cool.
Question number 2 was, which London Underground tube station featured in the chase sequence in Skyfall?
Mate, I'm screwed on these.
Oh, you
so this
totally
is a real.
know this one. Yeah,
Is this a real one that's not?
This is the real station, but it's an unused one. It's not one they actually use.
Oh.
But it was all over the like when they were making it. It was all over the news of where they were and stuff. Right in the middle there.
I've walked past the entrance to it, the blocked up entrance to it. My mind's just gone a blank. It's just drawn a blank.
It's right there in the middle of London, man. If you know that central area of London, it's fucking right there.
Can I get a first letter of it or not?
C.
C. Fuck. And it's not in use at the moment.
Nope.
Flip. Flipty flip. No, I'm sorry.
It was, of course, Charing Cross Station.
Oh!
See, you know it now, don't you? You remember all those making of snippets and stuff?
Flipping hell.
With him running around.
Yeah.
Charing Cross Station, an unused tube station that's been closed for years on the Jubilee line. Now, question number 3. What London Underground tube station did that station actually double for? So if you see the signs on the wall in the film, what would they have said?
Wow. Okay. So that would have been...
This is a tricky one for our overseas listeners, obviously. And our listeners who don't spend a lot of time in London. This is a challenging one, I'll be honest there.
I obviously remember the scene. I was only there not so long ago. It's not. No, it's not that easy.
I'm going to give you a letter. It's T.
T. And this is one that is in use.
Yep, absolutely. So this is what it was meant to be. But obviously, so they didn't disrupt things. They go on.
No, I just had it. What was it? It's a one-worder, isn't it?
It is a one-worder. You've got it. Go on. I think you might be there. Come on.
It is there, but I don't deserve to guess. I think it's Tower. No, it's not Tower Hill.
No, it's not Tower Hill. One last chance.
No, fuck it.
It is, of course.
Go on.
Indiana Jones and the Temple
of
Doom. It's Temple Station. There it is. Those two were very tricky.
Yeah.
Question number 4. When Bond meets Madeline in her office at the Hoffler Clinic, he mentions she'd previously spent 2 years working with a particular organisation. What is the name of that organisation?
Oh, man, these are tricky. Is it the only thing that... Is it the Médecins de Frontier? Or something like that?
I'm going to give you the point, because that is pretty much what it is. It's 2 years with Médecins Sans Frontières. Which is Médecins Sans Frontières in English, which means Doctors Without Borders.
Ah, really?
Yeah,
that's
Medicine Without Frontiers is essentially what that is saying. Very nice. Good stuff. So you get a point for that. Lovely. And then the final question from me on this round is, who was the set designer on Quantum of Solace? You know this one.
Was that Mr. Dennis Gassner?
It was. It was Mr. Dennis Gassner, indeed.
Lovely jubbly.
Based on the amount of answers I've written down here, I'm not going to do well this round. I'm going to need some clues, man. So
there are some hints. Okay, question 1. As always, what is the year of Daniel Craig's birth? In what year was Daniel Craig born?
How old was he in Casino? Was he like 38? I feel like he was 38.
He was actually. He was 38 when it was released. If I'd asked about the ages when they were released, you'd have got more, I think. But I would 38 when it was released.
It was probably 1968.
Yes, Tom!
Very nice.
Superb. I do apologise to our listeners when I get overexcited sometimes, but I'm sure your ear... Yeah, exactly. I will try to refrain from doing so in the future. But superb, Tom. Brilliant. Okay, so question 2. Why does Bond decide to call his drink a Vesper?
Because it's delicious.
There's a line that he says. Basically, he says, I think I'm going to call it a Vesper. And Vesper says, why? Because of something. And it's like, no, it's not that. It's... So Vesper says, because of the bitter aftertaste. And then Bond comes back with something else, which he thinks is a really good line, even though she laughs at him.
I'm not going to get it. I know it's one of those. Okay. Yeah, go on. What is it?
Because once you've tasted it, it's all you want to drink.
Fuck off. Yes, there it is. There it is indeed. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tricky one, that one. Okay, so question 3. What is the name of Dominic Green's scheme to control the water supply of Bolivia? And I'll give you a clue if you need it.
Operation Water Supply.
It's very close. No, it's not really. It's the something project.
Don't know. The Bolivia project. Don't know.
It's the Tierra project.
I wouldn't have got that one. The Tierra project. Very nice.
That's a toughie. Okay, so question 4. What is the keyword needed to reveal Silver's Amiga site that Q is trying to hack into? And I'll give you a clue. It also relates to a tube station. So this is it. I know the scene. I can see all the letters jumbling around on the screen and Bond and Q talking kind of to each other. Goes in on that and then something comes up. And I'll give you a clue. It starts with the letter G. G.
G. Fuck. I can't remember. Damn it. My brain is failing me. Go on, what is it?
It is Granborough.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't have got that though. Yeah, very nice.
That's a tricky one. Okay, and final question for the Daniel Craig round. How did Franz Oberhauser's dad die?
Now, do we want the official story that was in the newspaper or do we want the actual thing of what happened? Because it was obviously a skiing accident, wasn't it? In an avalanche or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's the full mark right there. What else? You could, if you wanted to add how long ago it was, you can for an extra bonus.
I don't want to add that. But wasn't the official story that Blofeld killed him or left him to die or something?
Yeah, it's something. It was a bit weird like that. Well, no, Blofeld was supposedly had died with him in the avalanche 20 years ago. But so there's a whole conspiracy about did he cause the avalanche or not. But I don't know if it's fully fleshed out in the film or not. But but you get your full mark definitely for that. So superb, lovely jubbly.
All right, good stuff. Moving on to round number 007 then, Chris. This is always a tricky one. It is the Ian Fleming round. Now, I've added an addendum to it this year because I have one question that isn't quite an Ian Fleming question. So I'm calling it the Ian Fleming /books round. Okay.
Cool. That's fine with me.
Mainly Fleming.
Fine with me.
But there's a little bit of something else in there as well from me this year. So I'm going to kick things off with question number 1. Now, I stole this question from JBR listener and friend of the show, Alan J. Porter.
Okay.
I saw him post this on Twitter the other day. I thought I'm having that for the quiz this year. Question number 1 is, what secret club for adventure-loving boys does Bond join during his time at Eton? That's obviously a young Bond question there. What secret club for adventure-loving boys does Bond join during his time at Eton? Question number 2. In the novel of From Russia with Love, what is the Lecter decoder called? It has a different name in the book to what they called it in the film. What is the Lecter decoder called in the book of From Russia with Love? Number 3. There is a noted neurologist regularly used by M in the Fleming novels. He appears in Doctor No, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and The Man with the Golden Gun. What is his name? That is, there is a noted neurologist regularly used by him in the Fleming novels. He appears in Doctor No, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and The Man with the Golden Gun. What is his name? I would say the most notable appearance is The Man with the Golden Gun, when Bond comes back in after being, abroad and brainwashed and all that kind of stuff, and he gets evaluated, not unlike he does in Skyfall, by this gentleman. And I would like to know his name. Question number 4. The Fleming family made their millions by owning a merchant bank, which was founded in 1870. What was the name of the bank? That is, the Fleming family made their millions by owning, or billions now I should say, by owning a merchant bank which was founded in 1870. What was the name of the bank? And then question number 5, final question for me, is in Live and Let Die, obviously the novelization, the book, not the novelization, the original novel, I should say, is what is Solitaire's real name? That is, what is Solitaire's real name? Okay, Chris, I'm turning it over to you, and I'm sincerely hoping I have a better round this time than I did last time.
Mate, that's tough. Okay, so question 1, Tom. In what year?
Motherfucker. All right.
I know you know this one. In what year was Ian Fleming born? Question 1, in what year was Ian Fleming born?
Cool.
Okay, on to question 2. In 1957, Fleming released 2 books. What were they? In 1957.
Okay.
Yeah. Fleming released 2 books in the same year. What were they? Question 3. In which novel does M suggest the villain may have homosexual tendencies because he can't whistle?
Don't you just love him? Don't you just love him for those kinds of things? Like, this, the most outrageous, ridiculous things. They are hilarious. Yeah. Let me hear that question again.
Okay. In which novel does M suggest the villain may have homosexual tendencies because he can't whistle? Okay. Question 4. According to the Majesty's novel, where was Ernst Stavro Blofeld born? So in the novel on Her Majesty's Secret Service, it mentions where Ernst Stavro Blofeld was born. Now, yes.
Go on. You're going to say something there that's probably going to help me a little bit.
I was going to say either half marks for the country and full marks for the town in that country.
Okay.
When we come to it. Question 5. How is Bond marked by a Smersh assassin in the novel Casino Royale? So he comes across an assassin in Casino Royale who leaves a mark on Bond. What is that mark and how does he receive it?
All right, cool. Okay, then turning it over to the answers. Yes. Question number 1 was, in the young Bond world of Charlie Higson, what secret club for adventure-loving boys does Bond join during his time at Eton?
I believe, is this one the Danger Society?
It is indeed the Danger Society. We first hear it mentioned in Blood Fever, book number 2, which is my personal favourite of the series. Bloody love it. Good stuff. The Danger Society, it was indeed. Cool. If you haven't read The Young Bonds yet, get involved. You're missing out. Enough said. Question number 2. What was the Lecter decoder called in the book of From Russia with Love?
Was it the Spectre, but with a different spelling of Spectre?
Exactly right. The Spector, spelled S-P-E-K-T-O-R. Obviously, you can see why they changed that for the film, because it would have been a little bit confusing, but it was the Spector, indeed.
The Spector.
Question number 3. There is a noted neurologist regularly used by M in the Fleming novels. He appears in Doctor No, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and The Man with the Golden Gun. What is his name?
No, I can't remember. Can I get initials for a half mark?
J.M.
No, that would be just silly guess.
Jerry Moon. No, his name was Sir James Maloney.
Oh, Sir James Maloney.
See, when I saw the Skyfall trailer, I got a little bit excited because I saw him being evaluated. And I thought, I hope they use that. I really hope they use that guy.
It's a shame they didn't, or maybe it was him. Has he got a name in it, or is he just a doctor in it?
Good question. We'd have to investigate, but it was obviously never mentioned. So, but there we go.
Yeah.
Question number 4. The Fleming family made their millions by owning a merchant bank, which was founded in 1870. What was it called?
So, you know what? You've asked me this question before.
Have I? I thought I might have done, actually.
Yeah, quite a while ago. and I couldn't remember it then, and I can't remember it now. It's like, I know as soon as you tell me, I'll be like, oh God, the Fleming. So it's a bank. Was it something? Obviously, it's a Scottish-based bank. Oh man, no, I'm don't even deserve to guess. Go on.
It was called Robert Fleming and Co. There it was.
Robert Fleming and
So that's
Co.
the source of the Fleming family billions. It was sold to Chase Manhattan Bank for over $7 billion in 2000. So that's obviously, if you want to make a lot of moolah, you want to own yourself a bank. That's the way forward, isn't it?
And then sell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And then question number 5, the final question in the Fleming/Books round is, what is Solitaire's real name in Live and Let Die, the book?
Now, this I should know. This I should definitely know. But I don't think I do. I really should know. Do we get initials for this or not?
SL.
Sunny Love.
It isn't Sunny Love, but I feel like that could have been a Bond girl, actually. Yeah, Sunny Love would have been somewhere. Yeah, good stuff. It was Simone Luttrell.
Yes,
Simone Luttrell was a French stock and was born in Haiti. And the name Solitaire was given to her by the Haitians because of her apparent exclusion of men from her life. So that's an interesting little tidbit for you.
Yeah, I like that. Very good. Some tough questions there. I need to basically get on the books again, which I haven't done for a long time. But yeah, superb. Okay, Tommy, on to questions for you. So my first question is, in what year was Ian Fleming born? Now I know you know this.
Do you know how I know this? How do I know this?
Because that was when we went to the 100th centenary of Fleming's birth and where we met one another.
Absolutely, where the romance began. That's where we were ran.
Yes.
Can you imagine if we hadn't been seated together by pure chance that day? JBR would never have been a thing. Isn't that incredible?
None of this would have existed.
Yeah.
That's so
Isn't that
strange. Isn't it? Is that where fate comes into it? Who knows?
I guess so. Yeah, destiny. The planets were aligned and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start referring to you as my Bond wife.
Well, there we are. Oh, Bond wife. Oh, thanks very much.
Very nice. That was, of course, 1908.
It was indeed superb. 1908. Fantastic. Okay, in 1957. Fleming released 2 novels, 2 books rather. So Fleming released 2 books in 1957. Can you tell me what they were?
I think from the way you phrased the question, are they both non-Bonds?
Not both. So one of them is a Bond and one of them is non-fiction.
So that would be Thrilling Cities would be one of them then. Or would it be The Diamond Smugglers?
The Diamond Smugglers, brilliant. So you've got
that
half mark.
I thought The Diamond Smugglers was a novel.
No, it's not a novel. No, it's non-fiction.
Is it really? Are you sure? You don't look like you were that sure about that.
Well, no, because I remember thinking that when I read up on it, but it did say it was non-fiction. Let's Google it.
I'm going to get on the Googles because I always assumed that was a novel that I just never read.
I think it's
The Diamond.
No, because it sounds like it should be, but apparently it's
Smugglers. Ian Fleming. Let's have a little.
No, I'm pretty sure it's non-fiction.
Oh, you're right. The Diamond Smugglers is a non-fiction work by Ian Fleming that was first published in 1957. The book is based on 2 weeks of interviews Fleming undertook with John Collard, a member of the International Diamond Security Organization, which was headed by Sir Percy Sillitoe, the ex-chief of MI5, who worked exclusively for the Diamond Company De Beers. Oh, interesting. So there we have it. I've learned something today. I just assumed Diamond Smugglers was a novel, but there it is. It's a factual work. So interesting stuff.
There we are.
All right, cool. I've not read Thrilling Cities or The Diamond Smugglers.
No.
So that's something I should have done a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. Well, likewise. Same for me as well. So you get your half mark.
Well, hold on. So
what?
The other one was a Bond book. So that would have been 1957. I've got a question coming up for you that I can actually do the sums in my head and work it out. Was it From Russia with Love?
It was, Tom. I'm so impressed. That's brilliant.
Very nice.
Get full mark for that question. Fantastic. Superb. Okay, so on to question 3. In which novel does M suggest the villain has homosexual tendencies because he can't whistle?
Is it Scaramanga?
It is Scaramanga, Francisco Scaramanga.
Nice.
Well
Be the
done.
man with golden gun.
Good go- Indeed, yeah. Brilliant stuff. God, you're flying through these. Can you give us a little whistle, Tom? Or
I can't. I'm not a very confident whistler. You know when people stick their fingers in their mouth and do a super loud one. I can never do that one. I can just do
I'm
the.
not
You know,
good with those ones.
that was that tune, but
There
you're
we
not.
go.
Saying.
Yeah. The old Living Daylight style. Okay, so on to question 4 then. According to the On Her Majesty's Secret Service novel, where was Ernst Stavro Blofeld born?
Was it in Belgium?
No. I'll give you one more guess.
Is it Rangoon?
No.
All right, then, I don't know.
Rangoon. No, but there's two interesting guesses. The country is Poland. So he was born in Poland.
Oh shit! I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah. And apparently it's the Polish port of Gdynia. Gdynia. Gdynia in Poland.
Well,
apparently.
I'm learning a lot about this stuff tonight because
That's where Blofeld was born.
yeah, interesting. All
That's
right,
a
very
tricky
nice.
question, though.
Yeah.
Tricky question, that one. Okay, so final question for me, for the Fleming round. How is Bond marked by a Smersh assassin that he encounters in the novel Casino Royale?
He gets the letter W carved into his hand.
Yes. And do you know, I mean, you got the full mark, but do you know why or what that means?
It marks him out as a spy, but I can't remember what the word is that the W stands for.
No, that absolutely spot on. So basically, that relates to, it's a Russian letter. It relates to like SCH, which is one letter in the Russian alphabet. Yes, spiol, which is spy in Russian.
Very
well
nice.
done, Tom.
All right,
I want to give you an extra half mark.
I
just 'cause
remember
that's
seeing
brilliant
something
knowledge.
Angliski Spion being mentioned
Yes.
somewhere, which obviously would be an English spy. Yeah. All right. Cool stuff.
Wow.
All right.
Excellent. There we are.
All right. Good stuff. So it's time for the next round, Chris. Now
It is.
we are
No,
doing
this is the-
we're doing something a little bit different this time, aren't we?
We are indeed, yeah. So this is the Music of Bond round, but rather than asking each other questions, we thought we'd get our Music of Bond expert, Mr. John Williams, to throw a few questions our way. So John's sent in some audio questions we're going to have a listen to and then see how we get on.
Let's do it.
Hello, Tom, Chris, JBR family. John Williams here, co-host The Music of Bond. Thrilled to be participating in the JBR Boxing Day quiz show. And today I have 10 James Bond music questions for you. So here we go. Number 1. In how many of Roger Moore's films was John Barry's 007 theme used? In how many of Roger Moore's films was John Barry's 007 theme used? Question number 2. What James Bond themed singer played Sonny Crockett's wife in the 1980s runaway hit television show Miami Vice? What James Bond theme singer played Sonny Crockett's wife in the 1980s runaway hit television show Miami Vice? Question number 3. What track cut Q was omitted from the Skyfall CD but was included in the iTunes download version? What track cut Q was omitted from the Skyfall CD but was included in the iTunes download version? Question number 4. How many James Bond themes have reached number 1 in the UK charts? How many James Bond themes have reached number 1 in the UK charts? Question number 5. How many Oscars did John Barry win for Best Original Music Score? How many Oscars did John Barry win for Best Original Music Score? Question number 6. Who did John Barry write Diamonds Are Forever with? Who did John Barry write Diamonds Are Forever with? Question number 7. What song/version was recorded and by who, but not released on David Arnold's Shaken and Stirred? What song/version was recorded and by who, but not released on David Arnold's Shaken and Stirred? Question number 8. What prevented John Barry from composing the music for License to Kill? What prevented John Barry from composing the music for License to Kill? Question number 9. What city was Moonraker recorded? What city was the Moonraker score recorded? Question number 10. In the James Bond video game Bloodstone, who starred in and sang the theme song, I'll Take It All? In the James Bond video game Bloodstone, who starred in and sang the theme song, I'll Take It All? All right, I'm going to throw a little bonus question at you. What air instrument do I play during This Never Happened to the Other Fella? That's right. This is a little question. We're going to make sure that, just check it in and make sure you listen to the last podcast. So what air instrument did I play during This Never Happened to the Other Fella? This is just a little bonus question, question number 11. All right. I'll be back shortly with the answers.
Okay, good to hear from John there. Good stuff. He's got some doozies for us, Chris. So I guess
he certainly has.
I guess we're working together this round. We're not going against each other. We've got a mutual enemy that we're fighting against in the shape of John Williams for this round. So, how do you feel you did with that one?
I tell you what, some of them I think straight away I could nail. But there are definitely a few that are pure guesswork, and some that I think that I'm not overly confident with. But I'm hoping that the mutual JBR sort of knowledge, the teamwork will win. It's like the double O's, isn't it? When they get together, or even recently Bond with his MI6 crew.
Indeed.
We get a bit of teamwork recently. So
all right then. So
should we see how we get on?
Let's go through it then. So question number 1: how many Roger films used the 007 track? I think it's just one.
I know this one. Yes, in Moonraker.
Moonraker, absolutely.
Yeah.
Question number 2 was what Bond theme singer starred as Crockett's wife in Miami Vice? I never saw Miami Vice, so I don't know. But I've got an educated guess. But
I've got a guess.
Go on.
I mean, I don't know at all. This is a complete guess. I was going to go with Sheena Easton.
That's exactly who I chose as well. Yeah, I feel like that's when you think of the age of Sheena at the time, I feel like she's the most likely candidate for that, I think. Yeah.
And I think because she was in the titles, it was almost like a little bit of acting of her in the titles.
Yeah,
so I thought, maybe it's her. All right. So that's quite interesting. We both went for that.
Indeed. Number 3 was what track was omitted from the Skyfall CD but was included on the iTunes download? I wouldn't have a clue on that one.
I'm assuming the Skyfall theme tune, but I don't know because I haven't got the Skyfall CD in front of me. Was the theme tune on the Skyfall CD?
It's a good question because there's a lot of publishing shenanigans in the music business, and it might make sense that the Skyfall song might not have been on the actual CD. So that's a very good guess,
I think that's
man.
what I'm going to go for as an educated guess. I think we should go for that.
Cool stuff.
That's the only one I can think of.
Number 4 was how many Bond songs hit UK number 1? And I remember it was always famous for saying Duran Duran's the only one that had the UK number 1 with that. But that's obviously recently changed. So I can't remember whether Writings on the Wall got to number 1. I'm going to assume it did. So I'm going to say 3.
3? Yeah. Who was the other one?
So Duran Duran, Adele's Skyfall, and...
I don't know because I think... Skyfall in the UK. This is not the US.
Yeah.
In the UK, Adele only got to 2, and I thought Duran Duran only. I thought Duran Duran only got to 2. I think Writings on the Wall is the only one that's been number 1.
This is. Hold on. Wait a second, Chris. Wait.
Yeah.
I think you've just done it because that's right. Didn't Duran Duran go to number 1 in the States, but not the UK? Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
I've got it the wrong way around.
And I think Adele got to number 2 as well, but I think Writings on the Wall is the only UK one.
Oh shit! All right. Okay.
I think so.
I'm going to bow down to your confidence there, and I think that's it. I think you're right. I think it's just 1. All right, cool.
Okay, let's see. If we're wrong, I'm really sorry.
You might be right. Right. Okay. Number 5 was how many Oscars did John Barry win for Best Original Score?
As a guess, I know. I think maybe 2, unless you think 3.
I think it's more because I remember this coming up when we did the Majesty's Music of Bond episode, and I feel like
he won it for Out of Africa, didn't he?
Yes, I feel like Born Free had to have it as well.
Born Free.
I'm going to say, because obviously there's an Oscar for a song as well, and he's asking for Best Original Score. So I feel like when you combine those two, the numbers are going to be pretty high. But when it's just the score, I'm not confident on that. Did he get the Oscar for Born Free? I feel like he must have done.
I think he got two. I think he got Out of Africa and Born Free, but I might be wrong. I don't know.
All right. Well, I took a wild guess and went with 6 because I feel like he deserved 6, even if he didn't get 6. But I feel like that's probably more in the ballpark of the best song. I'll tell you what,
you go for 6,
right.
I'll go for 2,
right.
And then if it's 4, we get a mark for that because it's in the middle as well.
Very nice. All right, cool stuff. Question number 6 is, who did John Barry write Diamonds Are Forever with?
You know this one.
Is it Leslie Bricusse?
That's what I wrote. Yeah, that's what I think.
Cool. Okay, good stuff.
I think so.
Question number 7. What song was recorded for Shaken Not Stirred but not released? I don't know whether that is I wasn't quite sure what you meant by that, whether it was recorded specifically for Shaken Not Stirred but never released or whatever. But yeah, I don't know about that. What about you?
Well, I don't know if it was recorded because, funnily enough, prior to the John Williams doing the questions, I was going to write questions for you and I'd written some. And one of them was going to be, which band has performed a cover version? No, what song has Coldplay performed a cover version of? Which is You Only Live Twice.
Right.
Now, it's around that sort of time. I know it's early days for Coldplay, but I don't think they would have done it for Shaken Not Stirred.
You see, Coldplay's first album, I think, was 2000, because I remember when I was in college, that was all the rage. So
it would have been before that, but I can't... I mean, it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with a pass on that one. I'm not sure about that.
Well, let's do an educated guess. Let's think of one. Is there anyone that we can think of that actually... anyone else? Maybe I can't. I don't know. Let's just give it a pass.
Let's just give it a pass.
Yeah.
Next question then. Question number 8 is what stopped John Barry from recording License to Kill?
Right. I've got 3 potential answers here, but I don't know.
I've got one that he was obviously priorly engaged with another film. And my educated guess is maybe that film was The Specialist with Sylvester Stallone, because he did score that one. It's a very Bond-like score, actually. Or I should say a very Barry-like score. And just maybe there was some scheduling conflicts with contracts and shit that he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But that's all I've got for that one.
No, that sounds good. The other sort of thing I had was, obviously he absolutely hated working with AHA and wasn't keen on that. But then that wouldn't really affect the next film, would it? And was there something to do with tax as well? Tax reasons? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe there's so much tax in there as well.
A possibility, yeah.
But I like your one. I think we should go with your one with perhaps tax as a go-to if we need it.
All right, then question 9 was, what city was the Moonraker score recorded? I think that was Paris, wasn't it?
Definitely Paris, 100% Paris, yeah.
And then in the Bond video game Bloodstone, who starred in it and sang the title song, I'll Take It All? And that was obviously Joss Stone. Okay, cool.
Real
Righty-ho then, let's turn it over to John and see how well or how poorly we did.
What about the bonus question?
Oh, the bonus question. Yes. Well, you've just revealed to me that you haven't listened to the Majesty's Music of Bond episode yet, quite shamefully.
Sorry, no, I haven't.
So I feel like you should
be excluded
from this question because you wouldn't know.
Okay.
But it was the air bass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so is that literally pretending you're playing a bass guitar with your hands in the air?
Indeed, exactly that. So that's a question for the hardcore who've all listened to the Music of Bond episode 10 so far. So good on you for knowing that, if you got that right. Cool. So let's turn it over to John then and see how we did.
All right, we are back with the answers to the 10-11 Music of Bond questions. Here we go. Number 1. In how many of Roger Moore's films was the John Barry 007 theme used? The answer is 1. Moonraker. Question 2. What James Bond theme singer played Sonny Crockett's wife in the 1980s runaway hit television show Miami Vice? Answer, Sheena Easton. Question number 3. What track/cut/cue was omitted from the Skyfall CD but was included in the iTunes download version? Answer, Old Dog, New Tricks. Question number 4. How many James Bond themes have reached number 1 in the UK charts? Answer, 1. Sam Smith's Writing on the Wall. Unbelievable. Funny enough, Adele's Skyfall, Duran Duran's View to a Kill both only reached number 2. The good news is, regardless of whatever you think about Sam Smith's writing on the wall, it beat out by 13,000 copies Justin Bieber. So that should make you like the song a little bit better. Question number 5. How many Oscars did John Barry win for Best Original Music Score? Answer, 4. Dances with Wolves, Out of Africa, Lion in the Winter, and Born Free. Question number 6. Who did John Barry write Diamonds Are Forever with? Answer, Don Black. Number 7. What song/version was recorded and by who, but not released on David Arnold's Shaken and Stirred? Answer, You Only Live Twice by Bjork. Question number 8. What prevented John Barry from composing the music for License to Kill? Answer, throat surgery. Question number 9. What city was the Moonraker score recorded? Answer, Paris. Question number 10. In the James Bond video game Bloodstone, who starred in and sang the theme song, I'll Take It All? Answer, Josh Stone. Question number 11, bonus question. What air instrument did I play during This Never Happened to the Other Fella? That would be the air bass. All right. Hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday and looking forward to talking to you more about music and James Bond in 2018. Bye.
Mate, I did all right there, but there was like now as soon as he said Bjork, that rings a bell now. I remember reading something about that years ago about Bjork being involved with David Arnold. So I suppose you kind of got the song mentioning You Only Live Twice with Coldplay there, but
yeah, I don't know if we get that though. I don't know if we
Sheena Easton we lucked out on though. Yeah. That was a good guess, wasn't it?
That was all right. Good, yeah. That was an educated
nice one.
Guess. The Skyfall one I didn't know. The Old Dog New Tricks. I wasn't sure about that.
The UK number one thing, you were bang on with that one. I've given myself half a point because I allowed myself to be swayed by you, even though I was going to get that wrong had I not had your guidance. I hope that's all right.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, no, of course it is. Yeah.
I need those half marks.
So what we're going to do then, because with the Oscars, you said 6, I said 2, and it's 4, it's in the middle, so we neither get a mark, as a teamwork, do we get half a mark?
I think we can't award ourselves anything for that, really.
No,
we can't say halfway between our answers or whatever. But yeah, so that was cool. Throat surgery for John Barry. We didn't get that one, did we?
I didn't know that. Like I did.
Kill.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. No.
And obviously, I don't know who Josh Stone is. Do you know who Josh Stone is?
No, Josh never. No, Josh Stone. Never heard.
It was very nice. It was, of course, Josh Stone. Good stuff. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you for that, John. Good stuff. A bit of music of Bond action going on there. So you know what it's time for now, don't you, Chris?
I'm excited. What time is it for?
It's time. The time it is for now is. It's time for the Guess the Quote round.
Oof, nice. Now, I mean, this is a great one. Obviously, this is the one we're doing the podcast. Someone's got to say a quote. Guess what it is. Everyone knows the score. Now, Tom.
Here we go. Are you ready?
What have we got?
My first quote of the day is: Do you know what gun this is? That is, Do you know what gun this is? Question number 2. You have 10 seconds. That is,
what? That's it?
You have 10 seconds.
What? Okay.
Why is that one so confusing?
I don't know. You have 10 seconds.
Question number 3. Right. Democracy.
Is that it? God, these are tricky ones.
Question number 3. If you think about that one, you can get it. Number 3, democracy. Number 4,
God, I'm off these.
Maybe I'll even stretch to 2. That is, maybe I'll even stretch to 2. And 5, my personal favourite is Ogni. That is Ogni.
Blimey. Okay, I'm going to do bad on this round. Okay, so on to mine. Guess the quotes. Are you ready, Tom?
I am.
My first one is Shut up! I'll say that again. My first quote is Shut up!
All right.
Okay. My second quote is, I'll take that as a compliment. I'll do that again. Okay. I'll take that as a compliment.
All right.
Okay. Question 3. Why do you always wear that thing? Quote number 3.
Do it again.
Is, why do you always wear that thing? Okay.
Yes. I got it. Of course.
Quote number 4 is, inspired, sir. Quote number 4, inspired, sir.
I've got that one. Yes.
Okay. Quote number 5, perorare per il momento ci vera. I'll do that again. There is a second part to that I can give you if you need it, but I'll do the first part first. Perorare per il momento ci vera. So we'll come back to those.
All
Okay.
right.
Mate, oh God,
This is a
I'm
tough
completely
round,
bad.
Ben. We've
I'm not liking
We've
this.
gotten tough here. I dread to think what my final score is going to be this year.
This could be awful.
Okay, question number 1.
Okay.
Guess the quote round is, do you know what gun this is?
Now that's got to be Blofeld and You Only Live Twice.
Absolutely. For not a bonus point, but for extra kudos, who is he saying it to and when?
It's to Asato inside his base in the volcano lair type thing.
Absolutely right. You got it.
Cool.
Blofeld to
That's the only
Asato.
one I was confident on.
All right, good
The
stuff.
rest of them I'm fucked.
Number
Okay,
2,
go on.
you have 10 seconds.
General Oromo from GoldenEye.
That's exactly right. You got it. Finish
Oh,
the job,
man.
James. Blow them all to hell. When
hell,
Alec Guinness gets all
Yeah,
gets all northern for a second there at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's it. Rumov's got him at gunpoint. Number 3,
Yeah.
democracy.
Oh, man. Is it? Democracy. Mate, I don't know. Is that M? No, it's not, is it?
It is M, but I need to...
sorry, Judi Dench is M. In... Judi Dench is M in... Christ, I missed the Cold War. Is it that scene? No, maybe not democracy. No. Do I have to give the film?
Yes.
Democracy. Is it in Quantum of Solace?
I'm afraid
Casino.
not. No,
Fuck.
I'm afraid not.
All right.
It's M to Denby, Inspector, when the Nine Eyes vote fails. And he leans over and says, democracy.
Shit. Yeah, no, I definitely didn't. God, that's
Alright.
a tricky one.
Number 4, maybe I'll even
Yeah.
stretch to 2.
Oh no, I should know this one. Flipping hell. Oh, Tommy, I'm sure you've done this before as well. That one, and I can't.
Maybe I'll
Do I
even
get a hint on
stretch
this
to
one?
2.
No.
It's not an old one, put it that way.
All right. Okay. Oh, so it's got to be. It's got to be Daniel then, is it?
Oh.
Yeah, it's Daniel. Maybe even stretch to 2. What is it? So Daniel as Bond saying it. Maybe. Oh shit! Where is it? Oh, when someone says, Skyfall to Severine in the casino. Would you like to buy me a drink? Maybe I'll even stretch to 2.
Exactly
no?
that.
Yes.
Well done.
Oh,
That's it. You got
shoot.
it. Well done. Top marks.
Shoot.
And then fifth and final one. Oh, Dick!
Oh my god. Okay. Is it You Only Live Twice?
No. More recent
Shit.
than that.
Okay. Oogdy. Can you do it one more time for us, please?
Oogdy!
It's not. Is it the guy in Skyfall with the Komodo dragon pit?
Nope. I'll give you a clue.
Oh, I'm gone. This is tough.
It might have taken place in the Middle East.
Ah. Okay. It's not. Is it The Living Daylights?
It is The Living Daylights.
Right. Oogdy. Is it Is it is it Colonel Fedor? No. Because I know you like him,
That's
but it's not him, is it? yeah. D. No, sorry, man. I don't know. Is it?
Oog D is Cameron Shah to the jailer when Bond boots him into the jail and slams the door on him. He gives him the finger and goes, Oog D!
D. Oh, nice.
That
I
was
like
a tough
that.
one.
No, I didn't get that one. That was a tough one. Tough round, that one.
It is a tough round, yeah.
Okay. Onto my guess of quotes. My first one is Shut hot!
Is that You Only Live Twice?
No. So it's later than You Only Live Twice. I'll give it, it's a Sir Rog. I'll even do the action for you, even though some people might be listening. Okay, it's Shut hot!
Is it View to a Kill?
No.
All right, no, I haven't got it. Go on.
I'll tell you what, if I tell you a film, see if you can get it. It's Octopussy.
Charlotte! Oh, fucking hell. It's coming into my brain slowly but surely.
Okay.
Chops the head off the gorilla outfit as he's climbing out the roof of the train.
It is the same. It is that guy, but it's a different part in the film.
I haven't got it then. Go on, tell me.
All right. So it's when he's following Bond in the tuk-tuk and Bond and VJ go through and the advertising thing comes down and he's looking around for it and it's obviously not there. And he's like, shut up to the other guys and then they go away.
All right, cool. Yeah, nice one.
That's tricky. Okay. So quote number 2 is, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I know that one, but I don't know it.
I'm not pulling off the delivery. It's a really tricky delivery to pull off. Okay, so it's like, if I tell you the line before, you'll get it straight away. So someone says something to this guy. In fact, he calls him something, and the character sort of says, "I'll take that as a compliment."
And is the next line, "I wouldn't"?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, it's exactly that.
Yeah, I see. I can hear that scene happening in my head, but my brain is I can't knit it together. Go on, give it to me.
If I tell you that first line,
go on.
You're going to know it. You're a cocky little bastard, aren't you?
Yes. Of course it is. It's M to Denby. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I love M Inspector.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was
skimming
skimming Spectre earlier, like looking for questions and stuff, and I stumbled across some key M moments. And I love him so much, man. I think he's such an inspired casting for the new M. Like, I love the bit. I stumbled across the bit where he phones up Q and he's like, "I need to know where 007 is. If he's not in London, you're in deep shit." I love that. I just love everything about him, man. He's so bloody good. Yeah.
He is. I love Ray Fiennes. He's man, and the good thing is he's just going to keep on coming for the next God knows how many years.
Yeah.
You're going to see him getting old and grizzly and grumbly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be amazing. Okay, so the next one I have is quote number 3. Why do you always wear that thing?
That is obviously the pre-title sequence of Goldfinger.
Yes.
I have
do
a
you know
slight
the name of the
inferiority
character?
Complex. No,
yes, it is.
Is it Zelda?
No, it begins with a B.
That's eluding me. I'm afraid
it's Benita.
Benita
is the name. Yeah, but you'll definitely get the mark because obviously you knew where it was and everything like that. That's cool. Okay, so quote number 4 is inspired, sir.
That is Mickey G's cameo in Tomorrow Never Dies when he's on the big screen. Yeah.
Do you know the character's name? You'll get a mark anyway, but do you know the character's name?
No, I don't actually.
It's Mr. Tom Wallace.
Oh, very nice.
There we are, but you got your mark for that one. Finally, there is an extra hint to this one if you need it. Perorare per il momento ci verrà. Do that again. Perorare per il momento ci verrà. I'll do it one more time, but I'll add the extra little bit. Okay, which might help. Okay. Perorare per il momento ci verrà. To this moment and the moment yet to come.
Is it Tracy Bond?
No, it shouldn't be a woman. I'm sorry. I've totally not done it right.
Nah, again, it's one of those, I know I've heard it, but I can't get it. Go on, what is it?
So it's a Bond actor to this moment. And the moment
it's Roger, isn't it? And For Your Eyes Only.
Yes, it is. No, it is Roger. Not For Your Eyes Only. Come on, you got it. He's saying it to a Bond girl. To this
Moonraker?
moment. No.
Spy Love Me.
Nope.
Looking at Diamond Golden Gun, Oxpussy.
Man with
Future
Golden
Girl.
Gun. It's when he's with Goodnight and they're having dinner and she's in that dress and there's all the Thai girls dancing around them and he spouts the line and then says to this moment and the moment's yet to come.
Yeah, that slots into
Good
place
old
now.
Rog.
All right, nicely done.
That's a tricky one as well. Yeah, that round was hardcore.
That was a belter, yeah, absolutely. All right, Chris. Well, it's time for the absolute final round of the day. It is the general knowledge round of the JBR Christmas Boxing Day Bonanza Bondian quiz. So here we go. This is where you can either
Shit
pull
goes
out
down.
into even more of a lead, and I can save a little bit of face, or not, or it could just get worse. So here we go. Final round. Pens and paper at the ready.
Okay.
General knowledge round.
Okay.
Question number 1.
Yes.
What is the name of the stunt pilot who flew the Acrostar jet in Octopussy? Octopussy. That is, what is the name of the stunt pilot who flew the Acrostar jet in Octopussy? Question number 2. Who wrote the screenplay for Live and Let Die? That is, who wrote the screenplay for Live and Let Die? Question number 3. Which famed British quiz show host once played Bond in a South African radio adaptation of Moonraker?
So weird.
Which famed British quiz show host once played Bond in a South African radio adaptation of Moonraker? Now, that's obviously going to be more or less impossible to our non-British listeners, for which I apologise, but there it is. Question number 4. What year did the Moonraker novel come out? That is, what year did the Moonraker novel come out? And question 5. Which classic film, also featuring Sean Connery, came out a mere 10 days before Dr. No was released? Which classic film, also starring Sean Connery, that's how you would say it, isn't it, came out a mere 10 days before Dr. No was released?
Flipping hell. Not sure about that one. Okay, lovely jubbly. Good questions, man. Good questions. Okay, so for my 5 general knowledge questions. Question 1, Mr. Tom Sears. Who is Spectre Agent number 6? That is, who is Spectre Agent number 6? Okay, on to question 2. Which villain, played by the same actor, has appeared in more Bond films than any other? So question 2 is, which villain, played by the same actor, has appeared in more Bond films than any other?
Which villain, played by the same actor?
Yep, has appeared in more Bond films than any other. Okay. Question 3. In which Bond film does the actor playing Bond and his wife appear your face? Sorry, I'll say that again. Question 3. In which Bond film does the actor playing Bond and his wife appear, and in what scene? So that's, in which Bond film does the actor playing Bond and his wife appear, his real life wife appear, and in what scene? Okay. Question 4. In which Bond film is another famous franchise given an obvious nod to, and how? So question 4 is, in which Bond film is another famous franchise, which we might have talked about earlier on today, given a nod to, and how? And finally, question 5, what 2 Bond villains enjoy adding Tabasco when dining on oysters? So question 5, what 2 Bond villains enjoy adding Tabasco sauce when dining on oysters? So there we go.
Fuck. I am absolutely annihilated by that round. All right, cool. Flipping it over then. Question and answer time.
Yes.
So, question number 1. What is the name of the stunt pilot who flew the Acrostar jet in Octopussy?
That would be Corky Fornoff.
Absolutely well done. Corky Fornoff indeed. Question number 2. Who wrote the screenplay for Live and Let Die?
Tom Mankiewicz.
It was indeed. Well done.
Yes. Good man.
Question number 3. Which famed British quiz show host once played Bond in a South African radio adaptation of Moonraker?
This is so weird. Like, so weird. And the fact is, yeah, just very weird. This would be a certain former Blockbusters host, Mr. Bob Holness.
Can I have a B, please, Bob? It's Bob Holness indeed. Well done. Now, that came out... Actually, I'm not going to say that because that might influence your answer for the next one.
Right, okay.
Yes, he played Bond in an adaptation of Moonraker for Springbok
I was going to ask you
Radio.
what year it was.
Yeah.
Springbok Radio was. I didn't know that.
Question number 4. What year did the Moonraker novel come out?
Was it 1955?
It was indeed. It was indeed.
Third. Yes.
Holness's radio adaptation was 57.
Really? 57?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. 57.
There he is. So he is the first British Bond.
He is the first British Bond. It's strange,
There he is.
isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it
and
weird?
the second to have portrayed Bond, perhaps.
Yeah.
After.
Well, so there we go. So for our non-British listeners who don't know who Bob Holness is, just Google him. And he had a quiz show called Blockbusters in the 80s, which everybody in the UK would know of. But you can check him out. Have a look at old Bob. Moonraker novel came out on April 5th, 1955. Now, why is that interesting?
Because that happens to be the birthday of
Me!
your good self.
And
my mum.
And
Cubby Broccoli.
Indeed, absolutely. Triple whammy. Good stuff. All right, and then my
Amazing.
last question of the 2017 Bumper Boxing Day Bond quiz is which classic film, also starring Sean Connery, came out a mere 10 days before Dr. No was released?
Oh, mate, I don't know this one. I can't think starring Sean Connery. I mean, there was...
featuring Sean Connery. I wouldn't say he sort of was the main man in it.
So, could it be... And it is a classic.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
Well, it's not Another Time, Another Place, then. It's not Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Nope.
Shite, I should know it, then. It's not Marnie, because that was afterwards.
Had quite a large cast. It was quite a long film.
What? Well, it's not The Great Train Robbery, because that was later. No, shoot. Oh, Murder on the Orient Express?
I'm afraid not. That was also later.
Oh, fuck, that was later. Yeah, that was 70s, wasn't it? Bollocks. Any clues or not? Well, that was a clue, really.
Yeah, that I can't. There's not a lot else I knew.
I don't.
It was, of course, The Longest Day.
Oh,
there it is. 10 days before Dr. No came
Really?
out. 2 classics in the cinema, like right after the other. Look at that.
Longest Day.
Longest Day came out on September the 25th, 1962. Dr. No came out on October the 5th.
I don't even know if I've seen The Longest Day, or if I have, not.
That's
for
one of those like Christmas
many
movies that, well, maybe not a Christmas movie, but usually it's on ITV on a Sunday or something like that. Do you know what I mean? When they're not playing a Bond film, that'll crop up
I'll
from
have
time
to check
to
it
time.
out. Is it good? Is it good?
It's an absolute classic. It's a long film. I think it's like getting on for 3 hours.
Is it
But
like a whole day? 24
you have to sort of I see what you did there. That was nice. Yeah. I suppose if it was a film of The Longest Day, it's got to be a pretty long film, isn't it?
Yeah, I will watch that for sure. Okay, so on to my general knowledge questions for you. Okay, so question number 1. Mr. Tom Sears and everyone listening, who is Spectre Agent number 6?
Is it Helga Brand?
No.
Damn it.
Helga Brand is number
10?
11.
Number 11, yeah, that's
11,
right. Yeah, I
that's
don't know
right.
who number 6 is, unfortunately.
Number 6, this is a tricky one because you hear quite a few. Obviously, 2 is easy. You hear about 4. Number 6 is Colonel Jacques
Bouvard?
Yes, Colonel Jacques Bouvard is Spectre Agent number 6. Yeah, in
Interesting.
Thunderball. There we go. That was a tricky one. Okay, so question number 2. Which villain, played by the same actor, has appeared in more Bond films than any other?
So I'm a little confused about the wording of this.
Okay,
so does this mean this villain is a recurring villain that has been, unlike Blofeld, has been played by the same person each time?
Exactly. And appeared in more Bond films than any other.
I suppose what I'm a little worried about here is your definition of villain. See, I could say somebody like General Gogol. Does he count as a villain or not? Really?
He would do, yeah.
He would do.
No, he's not really a villain. No, he wouldn't be a villain. Sorry, no, because he's more of an ally, isn't he? Really? But it's not him. So it's someone that you definitely say is a villain. He might not be the main villain. He might. And it's a he. He might be a subsidiary villain, but he's definitely classed as a villain.
Then the only person I can really think of is Jaws.
He's been in 2. There is one villain that I can think of who's been in 3. I'll give you a huge clue if you want.
I think I'm going to need it because I'm thinking now I can't think of anybody.
Very, very recent films.
Very, very recent. So I'm guessing that's got to be Daniel. That's got to be played by the same actor.
Been in 3 Bond films. 3 Daniel Craig Bond films.
Oh, fuck off! Of course I know who it is. Jesus Christ, Tommy, you idiot.
I'll give you a clue. We might have met him on the red carpet.
I was going to say, our mate that we hung out with for ages on the red carpet. It's obviously Mr. White, isn't it? Yeah, well done.
It is.
Yeah.
Jesper Christian. Nice
there
one, dude. Nice one. Cool. Good stuff. Okay, so on to question 3. In which Bond film does the actor portraying Bond and his wife appear, and in what scene? Now, I'll give you a clue. The wife might be...
I know this. I know this.
Go on.
It's You Only Live Twice, and it's Sean Connery's wife, and she plays one of the Amma girls.
Yes. She doubles Kissy Suzuki because Kissy couldn't swim. Yes,
that's
Tom.
Right, yeah.
That is amazing. Superb. Okay. 2 more questions. Question number 4. In which Bond film is another famous franchise given a nod to, and how?
Well, there could be several here.
Yeah, I know. This is a bit of a vague question, really.
There could be several. I don't know whether you call it a franchise, but you've got in Moonraker.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call that a franchise.
It's not really a franchise, no.
You've got like Lawrence of Arabia in Spy, but again, that's not a franchise.
But again, that's not a franchise. No, I'll give you. Do you want a clue? I did mention it with a question. Okay, it might have been a franchise we were talking about at the start of this podcast.
So that would be Star Wars, then, I guess.
So, in which film is there a nod to Star Wars, and how?
Is there a nod to Star Wars?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I know exactly which one this is. This is Tomorrow Never Dies, when Carver comes up with his headline that says, "The Empire will strike back." And he says, "I like that one. It's not even mine."
Yeah, brilliant. Absolute.
Lovely.
Top marks.
Thanks,
top marks. Man. Excellent stuff. Okay, so my final general knowledge question is, what 2 Bond villains enjoy adding Tabasco sauce when dining on oysters?
Obviously, Scaramanga.
He is indeed. That's half a mark. Do you know the other Bond villain who also likes Tabasco sauce with their oysters?
Who else has oysters? Is it Scaramanga? Oh no, I just said Scaramanga. What a dickhead.
That's the same person.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I still get both points, Chris.
Yeah.
Is it Sanchez? That's who I meant to say.
Oh, right. No, it's not Sanchez.
It's not Sanchez. No. Is it Christatos?
No. It's not Christatos.
All right, go on.
It's someone very, very close in the timeline to Scaramanga.
Is it? Oh, of course, it's him with a webbed hands.
That's it. What's his name? What's his name?
Oh,
What's his name?
Stromberg.
What's his name? Yes, Carl Stromberg. Nice one. So Scaramanga and Stromberg. There we go. Superb, mate. Now that would be the final question in a normal bumper Boxing Day quiz, but there might potentially be a special round.
Oh, all right.
Now this is only available to the listeners and your good self, Tom.
All right, okay.
So I'm not allowed to partake in this round, and this is called the 007 Bonus Christmas Quiz.
All right, cool. I'm going to need as many bonus questions as I can possibly take, man.
We have got 007 bonus questions, all to do with the Christmas theme.
All right.
So, bonus Christmas question 1, 001. What does Bond suggest that Q gets in the stores for Christmas? So that is, what does Bond suggest that Q gets in the stores for Christmas? Now, do you want to answer straight away, or shall I go through all the quiz
Go
questions?
through them and then
back?
we can go through.
Okay. 002 question. What does Bond refer to as a nasty little Christmas present? That's, what does Bond refer to as a nasty little Christmas present? Okay, question 003. What did Q make for the kids last Christmas? That's question 3. What did Q make for the kids last Christmas? Okay. Christmas question 004. According to Q, what does M want to use as Christmas decorations? So that's, according to Q, what does M want to use as Christmas decorations? Okay. Question 005. In On Her Majesty's Secret Service, what does Joanna Lumley's character say reminds her of home? So, in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, what does Joanna Lumley's character say reminds her of home? Okay, Christmas question 006. In the living daylights, what will light up like Christmas tree? Question 006. In the living daylights, what will light up like Christmas tree? And the very final question, 007 of the Christmas bonus quiz. What did the character of Christmas Jones help Denise Richards achieve in 1999? So the final 007 question, what did the character of Christmas Jones help Denise Richards achieve in 1999? Okay, so they are the quiz questions. So Tom, 007 bonus Christmas quiz, question 1. What does Bond suggest that Q gets in the stores for Christmas?
Is it the wrist dart gun?
From Moonraker, absolutely.
Lovely.
Superb. So extra bonus mark there. Okay, on to question 002. What does Bond refer to as a nasty little Christmas present?
Pass. Don't know.
I'll give you a clue. It's in one of the early Bonds. One of the really early Bonds.
But his exploding briefcase. The attaché
Yes,
case.
it is.
Is it?
It is. Yes, it is.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he says to Q, God, that's a nasty little Christmas present.
Jesus
Superb.
Christ, that was a lucky guess.
Yeah. Was it not in there somewhere in the back of your mind?
I don't think it
maybe.
was.
It might have been. Okay. Anyway, you got that right. That's 2 bonus questions. Question 3. What did Q make for the kids last Christmas?
The voice changer from Diamonds Are Forever.
Yes, he did. Superb. Mate, you're rocking up these bonus round. Okay. Question. So, yeah, just for anyone, that's a voice box. Very similar to Blofeld's one, impersonating Willard White, and Bond uses it to impersonate Saxby in Diamonds Are Forever. Superb. Okay, so 004, Christmas question. According to Q, what does M want for Christmas decorations? What does M...
His testicles, his ball bag.
Yes, he does indeed. Superb. And then what film is that from?
That is obviously from Spectre.
It is indeed, yeah. So it's when Q's obviously helping 007, but M's kind of onto him and says that he wants his balls as Christmas decorations. Brilliant. So question 005. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, what does Joanna Lumley's character say reminds her of home?
Don't know.
This one is, do you want to guess? Hazard a guess.
Bond's kilt.
It might be to do with a certain drink.
Vodka martini shaken, not stirred.
Eggnog on Christmas Eve, just like home. There we
Very
go.
nice.
That was a tricky one. Eggnog on Christmas Eve. Okay, so question 006. In the living daylight, what will light up like Christmas tree?
Like the control board thing, whatever you would call
the
that.
control panel. Yeah, the supervisor's control panel. That's right. His control panel will light up like Christmas tree. Okay, definitely get a mark. And the final question, 007. Final question of the whole Bumper Boxing Day quiz. What did the character of Christmas Jones help Denise Richards achieve in 1999? So this is obviously outside of the film. Her character helped her achieve something. Or should I say receive something, if that helps? So, what did the character Christmas James help Denise Richards receive in 1999?
Was it one of those Golden Raspberry Awards or whatever for being in a shit film?
Exactly. Superb. You get a full mark for that. So, with that, she won the Golden Raspberry Award for the Worst Supporting Actress in 1999, a first for the James Bond series. But she's not alone, Tom.
Oh.
Can you think who else might have won a Golden Raspberry
I think it's
for
probably
Worst Supporting Actress?
the very next film. I think they did a double barrel there, I would imagine.
I think you might. Could you possibly inform our listeners who that might be?
That would be Yo Mama. That would be Halle Berry.
You know what? Actually, no.
Oh.
It's she. I don't know if she was nominated or not, but it's actually someone else that had a much smaller part in the film. But I think you'll have equal approval of as having the Worst Supporting Actress Razzie. Very small scene
For a supporting actress, so it is another woman.
Yeah, very small scene.
Oh God! I want to be sick. I don't even want to say her name. Verity. I'm going to say her character's name. I'm going to say her real name. Can't
yes,
bear that
indeed.
woman. Yeah.
Madonna also achieved or received a Golden Raspberry for Die Another Day. Interestingly, as well, Brosnan and Denise Richards were nominated for the worst screen couple in 1999, but they lost out to Kevin Kline and Will Smith in Wild Wild West, which is rather strange.
I do think she was an interesting choice, wasn't she, for a nuclear scientist? I think, if they'd have gone for an Electra King in that role. But Electra King was great as Electra King. But if they'd have gone for her, I could. Do you know what I mean? It was very much an FHM top 100 hottest babe choice rather than somebody who was suited to that role, wasn't she? Bless her heart.
Completely.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I'm always grateful for, Chris, is her role in Wild Things. That is always that was all the rage back in those days, wasn't it? You remember that?
It was indeed, yeah. The old and Nev Campbell, wasn't it?
Yeah, good lord.
That's that must have been a good one to film.
Indeed.
I imagine. But there we are. Cool. So there we are. That is obviously we've got to tot up the results.
Indeed.
So are we going to play a nice little bit of music for the listeners while we tot up the results?
Let's do it. Let's do some
I tell
totting.
you what. Should we play a little bit of "Do We Know How Christmas Trees Are Grown"?
Let's do it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, okay. Let's have a little play.
All right, Chris, here we go then. So how are we going to do the score reveal of how we did there?
Right, okay. So basically, I'm going to go through the categories. So we've broken these categories down into vehicles. So depending on what your ultimate score is, will depend on what vehicle you get to drive home in. Yeah? Does that sound good?
All right, yeah. Cool, sounds good.
Okay. So I'll go through the categories and then you and I can sort of do our scores
All
afterwards.
I can tell you is I ain't going home in a DB5, mate. That I know.
Well, I don't. If anyone is, let us know because that's pretty impressive. Okay, so if you scored between 0 and 5, you get to drive home in the Ford Mondeo from Casino Royale. Now, perhaps not the worst car on the list, but certainly one which shouldn't have really been in the film. But there we go. So 0 to 5, the Ford Mondeo. If you scored between 6 and 10, you get to drive the Renault 11 Taxi from A View to a Kill. If you score between 11 and 15, you get the double-decker bus from Live and Let Die, and it turns into a single-decker if you want it to. If you score between 16 and 20, Tom, you get to drive home in the Citroën de Chevaux, the nice yellow one that goes backwards, forwards quickly. If you get scored between 21 and 25, you get to drive home in the Tuk Tuk from Octopussy. Now, that would be pretty good fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Step on it. If you score between 26 and 30, Tom, you get to drive home in the Aston Martin Vanquish. Maybe that should have been last. I don't know. But,
there is that thought that the invisible car is one of the worst things in the series. But then at the same time, if somebody gave me a Vanquish, I would not say no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why
I'd be happy to drive around in that. You know what I'm saying?
That's why it's as high as it is.
Yeah.
It was going to be lower, but there we are. Okay, so if you score between 31 and 35, you get the BMW Z3 from GoldenEye. If you score between...
I'm surprised about that because we had a little conversation. I must preface this by saying I don't know anything about cars. Your typically manly things, football, sport, cars, I know absolutely fuck all about, basically. I'll be honest with you. And I thought the Z3 was kind of cool. My mate used to have one, and I've been in one, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is Bond's car. I'd have one of these. But this car is looked at in a negative way, is it? When it came out, it did look good. You know, it is a nice looking car, but there was so much hype around it that obviously you don't see hardly any gadgets in it. It's got that little detector radar, and he talks about Stinger missiles, and you see a parachute, but you never see him use those. Right. It's on screen for 30 seconds. Oh,
but also in terms of a car itself, it's not a very fast sports car. I mean, it does look good, but you know, there are better. Like the Z8 is a much better car compared to what it is. It was more of a marketing push because it was to a wider audience. So in terms of the price that it cost, anyone could almost get one. So that's why it is on rather than a high-class luxury model, which he tends to drive.
So that's if I was to pull up to Bondstars next year in a BMW Z3 and park up next to Matey's DB5, would I sort of get some under-the-breath snickers of like, look what he's driven in?
Not from everyone, no, definitely not. No, I mean, I'd be happy if you buy one. I'd be happy to join in a passenger seat, and I mean, it's only just in comparison to the other cars that are on the list.
Cool. All right.
But did you score between 31 and 35? We'll have to find out.
We'll find out soon.
Okay, so if you've got between 36 and 40, you get the Sunbeam Alpine from Dr. No, the very first car that he drives. If you get between 41 and 45, you get the lovely 1935 Bentley 3.5 litre from Russia with Love, which is cool. If you score between 46 and 50, you get the AMC Hornet hatchback from the man with the golden gun, and you get to sort of, do a nice barrel roll when you go home, which would be cool. Score between 51 and 55, you get the Toyota 2000 GT Roadster from You Only Live Twice, but you're not allowed to drive at home. Only a woman can drive you home in it. Unless you are a woman listening, then of course you can drive it home. If you score between 56 and 60, you get the Ford Mustang Mark I from Diamonds Are Forever, but you have to drive home on 2 wheels.
Nice.
If you score between 61 and 65, you get the Mercury Cougar XR7 from Majesty's, but you have to drive home through a stock car race. Mm-hmm. If you score between 66 and 70, you get the BMW 750iL from obviously Tomorrow Never Dies.
See, I feel like maybe that should have ranked kind of low on the list there, because that's such a boring car.
I know.
Yeah.
It's purely the gadgetry that's put it where it is.
Yeah.
Like,
it's used
it has
well.
got a lot
I just wish they had a cooler car for it.
I know. But I was reading somewhere that in terms of being a secret agent, you don't want to stand out there and be a bit too flashy or obvious or draw attention to yourself. And if you drive down the road in a DB5, people are going to look at you. Whereas if you drive down the road in a 750 BMW, they probably wouldn't.
Do you know what I've just noticed after all this time? For people who aren't watching on YouTube, Chris has like a little magnetic whiteboard with some magnetic letters on. And he's obviously tried to spell Christmas, but he's realised he hasn't had enough letters. So it just says mass.
I even tried to get an X for it. But I tell you what, that's kind of an accident.
Yeah, if you squint,
that's better.
That works now. Yeah, very nice. Sorry, right, carry on. I derailed you.
That's fine. Okay, so if you score between 71 and 70, we're getting into big boy territory here. If you score between 71 and 75 points, you get the BMW Z8 from The World Is Not Enough. If you score between 76 and 80 points, you get the Lotus Esprit Turbo from For Your Eyes Only, and you get to choose whether you want the white model or the bronze copper model. If you score between 81 and 85, you get the Aston Martin DBS, and you have a choice of the Majesty's version or the recent Daniel Craig versions. If you score between 86 and 90, you get the Aston Martin V8 Vantage from Daylight. That's not bad at all. Yeah. Now, if you score between 91 and 95, you get the Lotus Esprit S1 from The Spy Who Loved Me. Now, what a car that is.
That is a beauty, isn't it?
Now, and finally, for any Bond freaks out there who can score between 96 and 100, you get to drive home in, of course, the Aston Martin DB5, which has silver birch paint.
There you go. Now we know.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is, if Uwe does this quiz, he actually does get to drive around in the S1. So
well, that's it.
It doesn't really
Yeah.
apply to him, really. So he kind of wins
there we
whatever
go.
happens, doesn't he? Old Uwe,
Well, this
bless
is
him.
it. Yeah, he does indeed. So
All
there we
right.
go. So
Do you want to reveal my
Yes.
score first? It's going to be abysmal. I can feel it. But go on.
no, well, you say that, but it's not at all. It's not at all. You've done very well. So obviously, what we've done is we've added our scores and then we've times it by 2, so we can sort of get a comparable score to all of our listeners. I think the bonus quiz question really was good for you, the Christmas bonus quiz, because you got like
I needed that badly.
6.
Yes.
No, but that was good. So obviously, including all of that, you scored an extremely impressive 76 out of 100, Tom. Now that definitely deserves a clap, and
Thank
that puts you right in the territory of Fiore's only Lotus Esprit Turbo, and you could get to choose the white one or the bronze copper one. The white one pre-explosion, obviously.
I'm gonna obviously he doesn't use the white one in that, so I'm gonna go with the bronze. I'm gonna be a purist about it.
Yeah, super.
Now, I feel obviously the bonus round helped me out a lot there, but I feel you've given me very generous markings here because I'm looking down my page and I'm seeing a lot of empty spaces. So I humbly thank you for being very generous.
No.
But I feel like I needed it this year. But even more illustrated by the fact is you are also driving home in a Lotus Esprit from Fiore's only.
Nice.
Whether it's the copper one or the white one.
I'm taking the white one. If
All
you're
right.
taking the bronze, I'll take the white one, definitely.
And you rocked in at 78.
Oh, man,
So
tight.
there you go.
Super
Yeah,
close.
absolutely.
Super close.
But there
Excellent
you go.
stuff.
I feel like you get the level up from the Lotus Esprit from Fiore's only though, because you put your performance far outweighed me this year, despite my bonus questions. So go on. Take the next one up. What's the next one up?
The next one up is a choice of DBS, either the Majesty's one or one of the Daniel Craig ones.
Go on then. What are you having? Tell me what you're having.
No. I tell you, I'm happy to stick with the white Lotus Esprit Turbo. Honestly, I think it looks rad, and like I'm even going to have that burglar protected sticker on the window to warn off any carjackers. So I'll definitely stick with that. So we're both in Lotus Esprit Turbos, which is awesome. So what we want to do is really find out how all of our listeners have gotten on.
Indeed.
So if anyone is driving home in a Ford Mondeo, we want to know about it. If you're driving home in the Lotus Esprit S1 or even the Aston Martin DB5, we definitely want to know about it.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a lot of cool cars there. So let us know how you got on.
All right, good stuff. So that rounds out another fantastic year of bondage, doesn't it, Chris? It's 2017. We've come to the end of it. And it's another year of JBR. It's going to be, we're going to have JBR's, what is it, 4th birthday coming up? 5th birthday? What is it? I can't remember.
I think it might even be...
2018.
No.
We started it in 2013, was it?
I can't remember if it's 4th or 5th. I think it'll be...
I think it might be 4th.
No, it'll be 4th. I think it'll be 4th, yeah. It's got to be 4th.
Because I feel like it's the 5th. We should have a little celebration. But it's,
yeah, definitely. I think it must be the
of course,
4th.
it was 14th. February 2014. So 4th year. So that means
year,
2019 is going to be an extra special year because we'll have Bond 25, we'll have Majesty's 50th anniversary and the 5th anniversary of JBR as well. So, celebrations all
definitely
round.
got to do something good. So just very quickly then, looking back, 2017. I mean, it's been a year of highs and lows in terms of the Bond sort of thing. Obviously, we haven't had the film. We haven't had much news about Bond 25. Hopefully, that will all change next year. But it's been a great year. Obviously, I think the biggest thing was the passing of Sir Roger, which was absolutely
heartbreaking.
Well, it really was, and obviously we had such an amazing response from all the listeners and everything like that for our episode. But there's been a lot of cool things. I really enjoyed it. We've had a lot of good interviews. We did September, that month of Bond, where we just went Bond crazy and went to the Albert Hall and Bond Stars and did all that sort of stuff. That was amazing. So what's your opinion of 2017 and Bond in general?
I think we always used to talk about it, didn't we, when we said finally when we lose a Bond, it's going to be nasty and horrible, and it absolutely was. And I remember thinking back, so many people were saying when we did that Goodbye Sir Roger episode that they found themselves shocked at how much the death of a celebrity had affected them, and just really emotionally got them. And I remember a lot of the voicemails we got on that episode as well, there were people that sort of started shedding tears through their message and stuff. And it was funny. It was not funny. That's totally the wrong word. But like, it was strange how I think all of us were affected like that. I was proper gutted when Sir Roger left us, bless his heart. But yeah, so I think 2017 is a gutter of a year if you're a Bond fan, because we had to say goodbye to Sir Roger, and he was the only Bond who it was so accessible to everybody and so happy to talk about Bond. So much so he even came on JBR, which still blows my mind to this very day. So I think, yeah, it's on the downside you've got that. On the upside, I'm not sure if there have been any this year, really, apart from our sort of JBR shenanigans and Casino Royale at the Albert Hall. I think maybe that's my upside. In the grand scheme of things, there hasn't been a lot. All we got really was a release date, and that was it. Yeah. Which kind of you could look at that as a bit of a downer because it was so fucking long away. But so I'm gonna put my flag in the sand, and I'm gonna say the upside was definitely Casino Royale, Albert Hall, hanging out with all the JBR family. That was my upside for 2017, I think. What about you?
I mean, definitely the month of September, every weekend was something sort of Bond crazy. But in a way, I still think that Roger Moore sort of episode with everyone just pouring out their heart was in a way an upside as well, just because it was just amazing to hear it all, and obviously meant so much to everyone.
I think that's what it did, wasn't it? It really woke you up to just how much that dude meant to everybody, didn't it? It wasn't just a, oh shit, Roger's died. It's like it was an outpouring of real deep love for the man, wasn't it? And I think that really just goes to show how much everybody did love him.
No, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But looking forward then, so 2018, what have we got to look forward to in terms of JBR? Obviously, we've still got Tim. We've still got License to Kill with Tim to do. We've got some nice interviews lined up down the line. We're then going to get onto Pierce and your favourite Goldeneye and all that a bit further down the line. Yeah. And obviously, we should get a lot more tidbits coming out about Bond 25. A few nuggets. We'll get the director. I'm sure we're going to get the director soon, and then maybe a bit the story. Obviously, title maybe not until way further down the line, but who knows?
I tell you what I'm most excited about, Chris. Most excited about. As soon as that clock ticks over to 1st of January 2018, we're going to be able to say something. We're going to be able to say 125 comes out next year. Yes. It's not going to seem that far away when we can start saying that. And what also happens is, one thing I like to remind everybody is that it's not all about the film coming out. Right, it's not all about that finished product of the film, going to see it in the cinema, as wonderful as that usually is. It's actually all about the build up to it as well. Like for me, I find that sometimes a lot more exciting than the finished product, sometimes equally as exciting. But that little thing where you have the little dribs and drabs of news, and then all of a sudden the internet explodes with like excitement because something's been announced, and we've got loads of that coming. And I bet you that's going to start coming thick and fast once we hit January. Once Christmas is out of the way, we get into January and February. Once we're into the spring, we're definitely going to have some news by then, and the whole machine is going to start cranking. We're going to get little dribs and drabs coming out, and then by this time next year, it's going to be like they'll have either started filming or they're about to start filming, and then the fun really begins,
Yeah. Are we going to be calling it Chatulation, or will we have to wait and see?
Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. There could be some poo-related jokes that we could, if they go down the Shatterhand route, especially if the film isn't very good.
There you go.
But I guess we'll find out near the time. But I feel like with the extra time, I feel like it can only be a good thing, taking a bit of an extra break rather than just rushing something out. I feel like they want to do something good. And then, post 2019, who knows where it'll take us after that. So as we've speculated recently in the past, we just don't know.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we hope everyone's had an amazing Christmas and Boxing Day for those in the UK. Obviously, New Year's around the corner, so wish everyone a very happy New Year, and let's hope that 2018 is an absolute belter of a year for Bond. I'm sure it will be. Yeah. It's been fantastic. Hope you've enjoyed James Bond Radio over 2017. And do we know what we're coming back? What our next episode is?
I think we do, Chris. I think we do. And I'm gonna throw out a little something for the people to give them a little teaser, right?
Nice.
I'm gonna say, if you were to learn how to do something, or be allowed to do something, right? Usually you have to take a test. For example, right, I'm going to learn to drive a car. I'm going to take my driver's test. There is a credential you are presented with when you pass that test that says you are allowed to drive this car now. I would say that gives you a little bit of a clue for something that Bond is allowed to do on the regular. And that might be related to our next episode. Was that a good clue or was that awful?
Oh, mate, I don't think anyone's going to get it from that.
No. Very nice.
Superb.
So there we have it. James Bond Radio will return in January with a fresh year of bondage. Lots of good things to look forward to next year. New interviews, new excitement, new flames, explosion, fire, and all the rest of it.
And don't forget new meetups as well. I'll just do a quick thing. More details will be released shortly, but we're going to have a meetup towards the end of March. We're going to have one towards the end of June, potentially a really big one in September, October, but more details to follow in 2018.
Very nice. Good stuff indeed. So until next year, Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year. JBR will return next month with some fine bondage. We'll see you then.
See you then, everyone.
Bye.